copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay. If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cams. Judge Carol Weimer, defense attorney Brad Haywood, you are under the microscope. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about the hotel off of Dumfries that was raided by the FBI and Prince William County Police Department. The FBI is telling us, it's all over the news, they're telling us that it's a multi-year investigation into that hotel. And they're investigating sex trafficking. They're investigating sex trafficking. They're investigating drugs. And they've been watching the hotel for years. Now, if you're the FBI, if you're the police, you rely on informants. You're collecting information and you rely on informants. What we're going to talk about in this podcast, who were the FBI informants and what does that have to do with the Mustafa Aljazairi case? We're going to put Mustafa's girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine, under the microscope. And we're going to find out, was Dorothy Fontaine a confidential informant for the FBI? And does that have anything to do with her cell phone not being part of the case? The prosecutor and the police department refused to put her cell phone in the Mustafa Aljazairi, to have it part of the case. I mean, essentially, Mustafa's case cannot move forward without her cell phone. I mean, what are they accusing Mustafa? They're accusing Mustafa of that he hates his girlfriend, that he has a bad relationship with his girlfriend. Wouldn't you think the first thing you look into is the text communication between Mustafa and his girlfriend? But they refused, the prosecutor and the police department refused to have his girlfriend's cell phone part of the case. Essentially, the case cannot move forward without her cell phone. Mustafa has been sitting in solitary confinement without a trial for 3 years. They refuse to take Mustafa to trial because they know by law, you take Mustafa to trial, his girlfriend's cell phone is gonna have to be part of the case. We're gonna put Dorothy Fontaine, Mustafa's girlfriend, under the microscope. We're gonna find out why Mustafa's case is not moving forward. And we're gonna talk about the FBI raiding the hotel off of Dumfries.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that, okay? If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you, if any of that.
This is not another boring podcast, Mustafa. Through the police body cams, presiding Judge Carol Weimer, you are under the microscope. And of course, we can't forget about the defense attorney that ran away from the case after sitting on this case for a whole entire year, and then turn around and say, I've been threatened off the Mustafa Aljazairi case. But my client is innocent, he tells the court. Brad Haywood ran away from the Mustafa Aljazairi case. Now, let's look into the Mustafa Aljazairi case and find out why is Brad Haywood, the defense attorney who sat on Mustafa's case for a whole entire year, ran away. In today's podcast, we're going to look into what is going on off of Dumfries. I mean, for years, we're trying to make sense of what's going on in Mustafa's case. And why is Mustafa's case not moving forward? Mustafa sits in solitary confinement for over 3 years without a trial. I mean, let that sink in. Here in Virginia, if you don't waive your right to a speedy trial, the prosecutor, by law, have to take you to court, have to take you to trial. In Mustafa's case, Mustafa never waived his right to a speedy trial. So what is he doing in solitary confinement in a county jail for over 3 years without a trial? Is the prosecutor breaking the law? Absolutely. Essentially, what she has is an individual sitting in a county jail without a trial. They're denying Mustafa's right to his day in court. Mustafa Aljazairi got in a vehicle accident, and the details that are coming out of this case is that this is a car accident. Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. There's a dash camera, there's a body cam that showed this is a car accident. On body cam, the police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle, and they found brake failure. Now, wait a minute. The computer inside Mustafa's vehicle, the ACM, showed that Mustafa's foot was hitting the brake the whole entire time, but the vehicle would not stop. The police department inspects Mustafa's car, and they find brake failure. His brakes did not work. So Mustafa's trying to stop the vehicle, but the vehicle would not stop. Now, Mustafa's case is sealed by the Commonwealth Attorney, and essentially, you can't get anything out of this case. And you're only supposed to take the Commonwealth Attorney and the police department word for it, that Mustafa crashed the vehicle intentionally. That's what they're telling you on day one. That Mustafa crashed the vehicle on purpose, and there is an argument inside the vehicle, and they sealed off the whole entire case. Well, unfortunately for the police department, unfortunately for the Commonwealth Attorney, there has been a major leak in the case. All the police body cams, all the documents are now on the internet. So we can verify that the Commonwealth Attorney and the police department has been lying about Mustafa's case for over 3 years now. And that this is a car accident. One, there is no argument inside the vehicle. Two, Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. Now, on this podcast, we're not going to go into the details of the actual case. We've covered it on other podcasts, and we're going to cover on the next podcast. On this podcast, what we're going to cover is why is Mustafa not having his day in court? I mean, essentially, the Commonwealth Attorney, the prosecutor, is claiming that Mustafa crashed the vehicle on purpose. the details that are coming out of this case is that this is a car accident. All right, let's go to court. Let's take Mustafa to court and litigate this in court. The Commonwealth attorney tell you absolutely not. And essentially what they have is Mustafa sit in a county jail without a trial for over 3 years now. What are they terrified from that this case is not moving forward? Well, obviously they falsified the whole entire case. Mustafa's statement is falsified. The dash camera is cut and muted. The vehicle is crushed and staged. The children are weaponized against Mustafa. The reason that they're terrified and they're upset that this file leaked, what this file show is that they falsified the whole entire case. The question that we're asking on this podcast is what is stopping Mustafa's case from moving forward to court? Well, essentially, his cell phone dump. Mustafa's cell phone dump and Dorothy's cell phone dump. Why is the cell phone dump being excluded from Mustafa's case? Wouldn't you think when the prosecutor accuses Mustafa that he hates his family, that he hates his girlfriend, wouldn't you think the first thing you do in this case is go into the text messages between Mustafa and his girlfriend? But the prosecutor says absolutely not. And she's excluding the cell phone dump from this case. And for 3 years, Mustafa is demanding his cell phone dump. He says, where's my cell phone dump? You're telling me that I hate my family. Why don't you check my cell phone? I mean, I've never seen a criminal demand that you go into his cell phone communication. And the prosecutor who says Mustafa is guilty says, no, we're not going to go and look at the cell phone communication. We're not going to look at what Mustafa and Dorothy texted each other. Wait a minute. The role is reversed here. It's supposed to be Mustafa terrified that you're going to look into his text communication, and it's supposed to be the prosecutor who's telling you, look what I have. Instead, the prosecutor is terrified that you're going to look into the communication between Mustafa and Dorothy. And you have a guy in solitary confinement telling you, look into my communication. I loved my girlfriend. The question is, what's on Dorothy's cell phone that the prosecutor is terrified that's going to be released into the Mustafa Aljazairi case? I think the best thing you do to find out is to put Mustafa's girlfriend under a microscope. Now, a couple of days ago, it's all over the news. They're telling us that the FBI and the Prince William County Police Department have had a multi-year investigation into the hotel off of Dumfries Road. They're investigating for drugs, and they're investigating for sex trafficking. All right. And they say they've been watching the hotel for years. Now, if you were the FBI, you would rely essentially on confidential informants, individuals that pretend they go in, pretend to be selling drugs, go in and pretend to be prostituting. And essentially, you're gathering information for the police and the FBI who's running this operation. You rely on confidential informants. What we're finding out is Mustafa's girlfriend, when Mustafa met his girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine, where was Dorothy living? Dorothy Fontaine lived at that hotel. Now, all right, you asked me, so what does that have to do with anything? It could just be coincidence that she lived at the hotel. Well, hold on now. Dorothy Fontaine wasn't just living at the hotel. I have information that Dorothy Fontaine was taking pictures of anybody that comes into the hotel and leaves the hotel. She would sit there and take pictures of their license plates. Now, what does that look like? If you find out that I'm living at a hotel and I'm sitting there taking pictures of license plates of individuals that come into the hotel and individuals that exit the hotel, wouldn't you say that, hey, maybe I work for the police department? That, hey, maybe I'm an informant for the police? All right. Dorothy Fontaine lived in that hotel, in and out of that hotel, and essentially lived in her vehicle. Wait a minute. What's a girl that essentially is homeless walking around with 3 cell phones? I mean, I can barely afford pay 1 cell phone. But here you have Dorothy Fontaine, a mother of a 5-year-old, a mother of a 9-year-old, a mother of a 10-year-old, a mother of a 5, a 9, a 10, and a 14 that lived with her. And the 16-year-old was living with her, but also lived at her dad. Essentially lived at her dad. She's separated by CPS from her mother. Now, what's a mother who's essentially homeless, walking around with 3 cell phones, living in a hotel, and is taking pictures of license plates that enter and exit the hotel? And now we're finding out that the FBI has been watching the hotel and running a multi-year investigation. Can we say that Dorothy Fontaine was a confidential informant for the police department? Absolutely. It walks like a duck. It quacks like a duck. It's more likely it's a fucking duck. Why is that relevant? Why is that relevant in the Mustafa Aljazairi case? Well, it's relevant because Dorsey's cell phone dump is off limits. They refused, the prosecutor and the police department refused to have the cell phone enter Mustafa's case. And essentially, Mustafa's case is just won't move forward. Because you can't move it forward if you're not going to look at the cell phone communication between Mustafa and his girlfriend. You're accusing Mustafa that he hates his girlfriend. The first thing you want to do is go into the cell phone and find out what kind of communication did Mustafa have with his girlfriend. Were they good communication? Were they bad communication? I mean, you're telling us that he hates his girlfriend, right? So we're supposed to find something there. But the prosecutor is terrified. She says, absolutely not. By the way, that's illegal because Dorsey's cell phone is exculpatory evidence in the Mustafa Aljazairi case. You have to put that cell phone into Mustafa's case. Let's go over to what the news is telling us about the FBI raiding the hotel off of Dumfries Road. The multi-year investigation that they've been running off of and watching the hotel off of Dumfries Road.
Tonight, we are learning about an FBI raid at a motel in Northern Virginia. Now, this was part of a sex trafficking and drug distribution investigation.
Sydney Persing has surveillance video of the operation. She's live tonight in Dumfries with what we know so far. Sydney.
Yeah, so there's a lot that we're still trying to learn tonight as investigators really are being quite tight-lipped as their investigation continues. But what we do know tonight from police is that they executed several search warrants here at this motel today and made arrests. And part of what they say is a multi-year-long investigation into not just sex trafficking, but as you said, drug distribution as well.
What's really interesting about what's going on the news is, Casey, thank you for being here. Send me a request. I'll bring you up. What's really interesting about what's going on the news is that they've been watching the hotel for sex trafficking and they've been watching the hotel for drugs. Well, what's interesting is the individuals they arrested, they didn't arrest them for prostitution. sex trafficking. They only arrested them for drugs. Now, wait a minute. You're watching the place for drugs and prostitution. And you're telling me you haven't arrested anybody for prostitution? What's going on here? And hold on, you're being tight-lipped? You don't want to say anything? Well, what if I tell you that I have the license plates, the pictures that Dorothy used to take at that hotel? Now, how do you think the FBI and the Prince William County Police Department is going to feel about that? I mean, essentially, I'm meddling with their investigation. Because if you have a confidential informant, a person that's been living at that hotel, a person that's been taking pictures of license plates that enter and exit the hotel, essentially, are we looking at a confidential informant for the police and the FBI? Absolutely. 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 Now, what does it mean when we start releasing the license plates of that confidential informant all over the internet? Is that going to tip off the person that the FBI is watching them? Are we going to release, is that license plate of another confidential informant? Well, we're going to release that license plate and we're going to play a game here. We're going to have fun with this. We're going to look up that license plate. I have a lot of license plates. Apparently, Dorothy Fontaine has been busy. Now, the police department, we're going to look up those license plates. We're going to find out who those license plates belong to. We're going to have a lot of fucking fun. Now, the FBI and the police department at Prince William County have not arrested anybody for prostitution. Now, the question is, why? You're telling me that you've been watching the hotel for years and you haven't arrested anybody? Wait a minute. Where does sex trafficking come from? I mean, the hotel off of Dumfries, all those girls that prostitute. Wait a minute. Oh, that's right. They strip at a local strip club off of Crystal City. That's right. Oh, that's right. Wait a minute. All those girls that prostitute at that hotel that the FBI has been watching for years, they strip at a local strip club. Crystal City Strip Club. Wait a minute. Is the owner of that strip club paying money into our county to not have the local FBI and the police department come after him? We're going to find out. Who owns that strip club? Is he paying money into our county supervisors and county officials to essentially not have anybody come after him? I mean, you're telling me that you're the FBI and you're the Prince William County Police Department, have been investigating and watching that hotel for years, and you haven't arrested anybody that's doing prostituting off that hotel? That is just doesn't add up. You're investigating for sex trafficking. You've got prostitutes that are doing sex trafficking, and you haven't arrested anybody. Well, what's really interesting is when you find out that the owner of Crystal City Strip Club, is he paying money into our county officials? Well, let's take a look. This is you can look that up yourself. Let's see. If you go on vpap.org, this is public information. The owner of the strip club, our local strip club, that all the prostitutes strip at that hotel, they strip at the local strip club, Crystal City Strip Club. The owner is William Bain Jr. Let's zoom in. So that way everybody gets to see the name of the owner. There we go. William Bain Jr. William Bain Jr. apparently he's been busy. He's been busy paying off local officials in our county. He paid $5,200. That's interesting. And he split it right in half. $2,600 for the Republican and $2,600 for the Democrat. That's interesting. He paid $1,400 for Prince William County Board of Supervisors. Oh, how beautiful. So Billy Bain Jr., that strip club, paid $1,400 into our Board of Supervisors. Well, now we know when we go to the Board of Supervisors, that's why they look the other way. $1,000 to Governor Youngkin. The owner of a strip club is paying $1,000 to our previous Governor Youngkin. $500 to Abigail Spanberger. Oh, beautiful. So wait a minute. Youngkin is a Republican, but you're also paying a Democrat? Spanberger, Abigail Spanberger. Oh, interesting. Oh, he also paid $200 for Lieutenant Governor Sears, who's a Republican. That's interesting. $2,100 for a delegate. Oh, interesting. Beautiful. So you don't discriminate. Republican, Democrat. If I didn't know any better, you're splitting your money not because you believe in Republicans or you believe in Democrat. No, you're paying hush money. Let's see. What else is Billy Bain Jr.? All right. So we've got Governor Youngkin, Abigail Spanberger. All right. Lieutenant Governor. A total of $5,200. Billy Bain Jr. And you can go to vpap.org. And that's all public information. I mean, if that's how much he's paying, $5,200, if that's how much he's paying over the table, you can only assume how much, you can only imagine how much he's paying under the table. I mean, one of the biggest strip clubs here is owned by Billy Bain Jr. Now, when we, all over the news, when we found out that they raided the hotel and they've been watched, the FBI has been watching the hotel for years. And they tell you, we've been watching the hotel for prostitution and drugs. But fortunately for Billy Bain Jr., who's paying a lot of money into this county, they haven't arrested any of his prostitutes. The same strippers that strip at his club, they prostitute at the hotel. You want to tell me they haven't made any arrest? How convenient. Let's go back and watch that one more time, knowing that's the information that we have.
Tonight, we are learning about an FBI raid at a motel in Northern Virginia. Now, this was part of a sex trafficking and drug distribution investigation.
Sydney Persing has surveillance video of the operation. She's live tonight in Dumfries with what we know so far. Sydney.
Yeah, so there's a lot that we're still trying to learn tonight as investigators really are being quite tight-lipped as their investigation continues. But what we do know tonight from police is that they executed several search warrants here at this motel today and made arrests. And part of what they say is a multi-year-long investigation into not just sex trafficking, but as you said, drug distribution as well. Just before 6 a.m. and one by one, local and federal authorities pulled up to the Red Carpet Inn in Dumfries on Thursday. Quickly and with guns drawn, they made their way inside. The FBI and Prince William County Police say this was a coordinated operation, part of a multi-year investigation into sex trafficking and drug distribution at the motel on Dumfries Road. Authorities would not say who or how many people were arrested, but did say more details will come to light as the investigation continues.
We typically call this type of crime hidden in plain sight.
Derek Benner is the CEO of Our Rescue, a global nonprofit dedicated to combating sex trafficking.
What exactly are you going to rescue? You're going to rescue his prostitutes? You're going to rescue the strippers? I mean, that strip club is known to hire underage girls to strip at that club. If you're from the area, that's information that the community knows. That drugs are coming out of that club, and there's underage strippers, and the strippers are prostituting at that hotel off of Dumfries. You've got this person that's talking about, what exactly are you talking about?
Previously worked at DHS and HSI.
But these investigations are complicated because these
They're complicated because there's a lot of money coming out of that strip club into our government officials. That's why they're complicated.
Organizations are moving in and out of our communities. They move across state lines and they move across international boundaries.
Benner is not at all affiliated with this case, but said so much of the most important work comes after these arrests.
Yes, it's great that bad guys go to jail, but the most important thing is to get survivors on a path to healing and recovery. As a society, I think we need to rededicate ourselves to this type of human crime.
So I can tell you that tonight there are still police officers on scene here. Again, there's a lot that we don't know, but I can tell you I talked to folks here who live and work in the area, and they said they've had problems here for a long time, and they are relieved to see investigators are taking this seriously. I did try to reach out to the owners of this inn for a comment from them, but we still haven't heard back. Jim and Angie.
So what they've done, they arrested the owners of the hotel. They arrested a couple of people in Prince William County. There's an article off of our local paper, Prince William, off of our local Inside Nova. They said that they arrested the owners and they arrested a couple of people, but no charges have been filed. No charges have been filed for sex trafficking. That's interesting. Let's take a look at how do we know that Dorothy Fontaine lived at the hotel? Well, Mustafa met Dorothy. Mustafa's relationship with Dorothy is 3 months long. And when Mustafa met Dorothy, Dorothy was living in that hotel. What was Dorothy doing? Dorothy was prostituting herself. Wait, she was doing what? Dorothy was prostituting herself. And Mustafa tells you, I saved her from that life. We fell in love with each other. I found out that she has children later. And naturally, I took the role of a father figure in their life. Their dad wasn't around. She had a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 14 that was living with her. And I saved her from that life. Let's take a look at what her 16-year-old daughter, Kylie Clapp, in a forensic interview, tell you about her mom. Kylie Clapp is separated by CPS, and she lived with her dad. She's separated by CPS. So we have a forensic interview. Well, Kylie Clapp tells you, my mother lived at this hotel.
And then the next day we left, I was like trying to get them to get together, because you know you have to check out by a certain time. And I was like, okay, we need to get everything and leave, because we were kind of living in our hotel rooms. It was like we had a lot of stuff to pack, like our whole lives were in those hotel rooms. I mean, not necessarily me, because I was back and forth between, my dad was living in a hotel and my mom was, so I was back and forth. But they all had their stuff. Mm-hmm. And he was like, no, and he just tried to have my mom, smoke with him, lay down with him, cuddle with him. I was like, we need to go. Like, and she had the kids in the pool, and I was like, really annoyed. And he just undermined everything I did. And it was like, it's really annoying because, I don't know, I kind of had to manage all of them because even if my mom tried, she was like, she would get like frustrated and she would stop. Like when they wouldn't listen one time, she'd just like break down crying and just, I'm sick of this shit, blah blah blah, and then it wouldn't get done if I didn't do anything. And then him doing that was like annoying because he thought he had authority over me, and it was just like weird. Mm-hmm. And then like after he had met the kids once, he would be around all the time. So then we came back and I was like, I want him gone. Can we just have a family day? He followed us back and like we got to the red roof. Somehow we got kicked out of the Motel 6. I don't know how you get kicked out of Motel 6, but it happened. And
so Kylie Clapp, her 16-year-old daughter, tells you, my mother lived in a hotel. All right. So far, I mean, what are we looking at here? We're looking at who is Dorothy Fontaine. So far, we have Dorothy Clapp. We have Dorothy Fontaine living in a hotel. Now, when you find out that Dorothy walked around with 3 cell phones, wait a minute. Dorothy is essentially homeless. She is in and out of those hotels. She lives in her van. What's a mother that is essentially homeless walking around with 3 cell phones? How do we know she has 3 cell phones? Well, Mustafa's defense attorney at one point tell you that the prosecutor, the police department did a cell phone dump on Dorothy's 3 cell phones. And what they did, they didn't upload it to the server. What they've done is download it into a hard drive, which is not normal. These are digital. This is digital material that when the police department do a cell phone dump, they're supposed to upload it to the server, to the police department server, evidence.com. But in this case, what they've done is download it into a server. Let's read the transcript from one of Mustafa's attorneys that tell us that they gave him the hard drive. He sat on Mustafa's case for a whole entire year, but then tell you, I didn't go through it. And the other attorney that was also on Mustafa's case says, I didn't go through it. As a matter of fact, she tells you that Virginia State Police raided her office and took the cell phone drive. The cell phone dump. That's interesting. Isn't that a weird chain of events? What's on this cell phone dump that they're terrified that they went and took from the other lawyer, and no one is going through it? Blake Weiner, we're going to read the transcript from Blake Weiner. He sat on Mustafa's case for a whole entire year. And 2 weeks before trial, he told the presiding judge, Judge Carol Weimer, that he didn't go through the cell phone dump. Why is the attorney not going through the cell phone dump? Why is the prosecutor not talking about anything that's on Dorothy's cell phone or Mustafa's cell phone? And why is the lawyer all of a sudden telling you that they raided my office, they took the cell phone dump, and I am terrified from the police? She says, I'm terrified that they're going to kill me. Wait a minute. What's on that drive? What's on the cell phone dump that everybody wants to avoid and everybody's terrified to go through? They don't want to go through it. So far we have a Dorothy Fontaine, Mustafa's girlfriend, who lives in a hotel, who's walking around with 3 cell phones. And then you find out that she's taking pictures of every vehicle that comes in and leaves the hotel. All right, let's read the transcript and find out what is going on with Dorothy's cell phone. This is a transcript from November 20th, 2024. So Blake Weiner, he says, yes, Your Honor. So what happened was there is a large volume of discovery in this matter, and much of this is already in the record, but I'll just repeat it. There's thousands of pieces of discovery alone on evidence.com. Evidence.com is the police department server. These thousands of pieces of discovery include videos, audio, that they themselves sometimes are over an hour long. It's a large volume of discovery that just on evidence.com. In addition to all of that evidence on evidence.com, there's approximately 700 pages of physical PDF paper, things like that, like police reports, witness statement, that also in discovery. On top of that, that is what we would call, I guess, for purpose of this motion, the phone dump hard drive. All right, he's talking about the hard drive. So the police department downloaded Mustafa's cell phone and Dorothy's cell phones on a hard drive, which is not normal, by the way. This is not normal. What they're supposed to do is upload it to the server, evidence.com, to the police department server. But in this case, they download it into a hard drive. The phone dump hard drive is, and the Commonwealth may have more specific about this because I haven't looked at it yet. Is basically, it is the data extraction from multiple cell phones. Listen to what he's talking about here. Listen to what he's about to say. He's about to describe, he's about to tell you that Dorothy has 3 cell phones. The police department did a cell phone dump on Dorothy's 3 cell phones and did a cell phone dump on Mustafa's cell phone. And instead of uploading it to the server, which is what they're supposed to, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to, this is digital material. It's supposed to be uploaded to the server, the police department server, so the defense can access that material. Instead, they've downloaded that into a hard drive. That's not normal. It's not normal to download that material into a hard drive and to ship it out to the defense attorney, who in this case is being threatened off the Mustafa Aljazairi case. In this case, they're telling you, we didn't go through it, we're avoiding it, and for 3 years, Mustafa have not gone through exculpatory evidence. The data extraction from multiple cell phone of the 2 individuals in the case who have passed, as well as, I believe, like a 3rd family phone. There might even be a 4th phone, but it's multiple cell phone, as well as, I believe, all of the data. Also one of the cell phone for my client, and also the data extraction from the dash camera that was part of this case. In total, off top of my head, I believe the data extraction, it was large enough that it needed at least a 1 terabyte hard drive for the Commonwealth to put the data in. Around that time, I was aware. So he's going to go on and tell the... By the way, this is 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks before trial. So this defense attorney sat on Mustafa's case for a whole entire year. And then 2 weeks before the trial, he's going to tell you, he's telling Judge Weimer, the presiding judge, that, Your Honor, I didn't go through it. I gave it to the other lawyer that was assigned to this case. She didn't go through it. She's supposed to mail back this hard drive. She never did. Your Honor, essentially, I'm not ready to go into this case. What do you mean? You sat on Mustafa's case for the whole entire year. The prosecutor is accusing your client that he hates his girlfriend. Wouldn't you think, as a defense attorney, the first thing you do is go into the text communication between your client and his girlfriend? They're saying that he hates her. Wouldn't you think that you're going to take out the text messages and say, look, Your Honor, my client loves his girlfriend. These are the text communication. Instead, the lawyer is avoiding it. The prosecutor is avoiding it. And what we're going to see is the other lawyer that he's talking about, that he sent this drive to, is talking about that the police raided her office and are threatened, that she's terrified that they're going to kill her. Around the time I was aware of all this evidence, I believe it was a few months ago, we filed a motion for an investigator to assist in reviewing discovery for this very reason, because all of this data, shortly thereafter, Ms. Jarvis, the other attorney, that's on Mustafa's case, came into this case, entered an appearance in this case, and told me and told my client, and we relied on it. It will help you in reviewing discovery. All right, so Mustafa's lawyer goes on and says, because of that, at the motion hearing on October 31st, we came to the court for... All right, so he's going to go on and tell the judge, blah, blah, blah. Like, is telling him, is giving him essentially an excuse why he didn't go through it. And then toward the bottom, he says, I just asked Ms. Jarvis, and she said, I'll FedEx it to you. Well, Ms. Jarvis never FedExed that drive back to him because she said Virginia State Police raided her office and took that drive. Wait a minute. Why is the police raiding a defense attorney office, and why are they taking back the drive? Let's hear directly from Ms. Jarvis. And what is she telling us about what's going on in Mustafa's case? This is the defense attorney who supposedly received the drive and never shipped it back.
The reason, and I've told the Virginia State Police that I'm afraid they're going to kill me because I've spoken out about it. And I'm still afraid they're going to kill me. Now I'm afraid they're going to railroad me and set me up for something that I have not done.
You're afraid of who?
The Virginia State Police. Okay. I'm afraid of the police.
Got you.
I'm afraid of the police. I am 53 years old. I have never been in trouble. You can look up my record.
And I don't trust the police either. 100%.
I don't, and the reason...
All right. So, all over the news, I mean, what is she talking about? Why is she terrified from the police? Why are they threatening her off the Mustafa Aljazairi case? Why did they raid her office and take that drive, that cell phone dump? I mean, when you take a step back, and now that we're learning that the police and the FBI have been watching that hotel for drugs and prostitution for years. All over the news, they raided the hotel. Well, when you raid a hotel, when you watch a hotel, when you're investigating, when you're building a case, you rely on informants. What do we have so far? We have a Dorothy that's been living at a hotel, walking around with 3 cell phones, and the police are raiding the defense attorney, making sure that cell phone, they're terrified that the cell phone extraction is going to get released. What's on this cell phone? I mean, if I was a confidential informant, I wonder what's going to be on my cell phone. Oh, my communication with the fucking police. Oh, wait a minute. I'm taking pictures of vehicles at the hotel, entering and exiting the hotel. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm taking pictures of license plates of individuals selling fucking drugs, doing the prostitution. Oh, wait a minute. What if I have pictures of other confidential informant that I, as an informant, didn't know that they were confidential informants? I mean, when you're running an investigation, if you're a confidential informant, you're not going to know other confidential informant. You know what you know. So when Dorothy's taking pictures of license plates, is those pictures, is that communication going to compromise their investigation? Well, of course. So far, we have Mustafa's girlfriend living at that hotel. We have a mother who has a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old who is essentially supposed to be homeless, but walking around with 3 cell phones. Wait a minute. That person who's supposed to be homeless is taking pictures of vehicles coming in and exiting the hotel. What the fuck is this? License plate UFK-2521. Who is that person? And why was Dorothy Fontaine taking pictures of vehicle entering and exiting the hotel? Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun. Prince William County Police Department. We're going to have a lot of fun. Our local FBI. I mean, I remember when Mustafa was beaten up by guards. Guards went into his cell and beat him and carried him out unconscious. I remember we contacted the DOJ, and within 5 fucking days, the FBI were in our house and telling us that we're all over it and we're investigating what happened to Mustafa. Within 5 days. Unheard of. The FBI would get involved so quick. Were the FBI... I mean, why did Mustafa get beaten up inside the jail? I remember at the time where we were going to go public about what they're doing in his case. The FBI showed up and they were collecting information. What do you have that you're going to compromise and come out? They're terrified. FBI Special Agent Lindsay Coulter, FBI Special Agent Supervisor Huckle, FBI Special Agent Samantha Adams. They were supposed to investigate what happened to Mustafa. But instead, what we found out is they were just collecting information. They wanted to know, do we have anything that might, well, knowing what I know now, compromise their investigation? What do we know about Dorothy Fontaine? Well, Special Agent Lindsay Coulter, I've got license plate of your confidential informant that was taking pictures inside the hotel. That investigation that you've been running off of that hotel, I've got pictures of that confidential informant, and we're releasing it, and we're going to find out who are these people. I mean, are you going to be happy? Absolutely not. You want to control the narrative. I mean, so far you haven't arrested any prostitutes. Why is that? Oh, maybe because Billy Bain Jr. is paying a lot of money into the county. It's the biggest strip club, and it's paying a lot of money for you to just look the other way. Well, you can't control the narrative when I've got pictures of license plate from your confidential informant into what's going on in that hotel. You're going to have to go after these individuals. This is another license plate, so that's one of them. License plate UFK-2521. Dorothy Fontaine, who's walking around with 3 cell phones, living at the hotel, taking pictures of license plate. And the license plate is UFK-2521. Let's look at another license plate. Oh, there we go. UDA-6927. Oh, how beautiful. We're going to have a lot of fun looking up who these people are. I've got so many license plates that Dorothy Fontaine took. UDA-6927. Here's another license plate. And here's another license plate. UNM-5355. We're going to have a lot of fun looking up these license plates. And we have so many other license plates. There is a time and place for everything where we're going to release certain material. I mean, talk about controlling the narrative. The police department and the FBI think they can control the narrative on Mustafa. They can control the narrative on the FBI, them raiding the hotel off of Dumfries Road, other cases, and they seal off these cases and essentially lie to the community. You're telling me that you've been watching a hotel for years and you haven't arrested, you're running an investigation into prostitution, but yet you haven't arrested any prostitute. How does that make any sense? What we're going to do, I'm going to take you directly to the scene after the vehicle accident. Let's take a look at what the officers found in Mustafa's girlfriend's purse. I mean, at the time, I don't really understand what's going on. But when you take a step back and look at what is going on in this case and why is this case not moving forward, you understand what they're terrified from. I mean, if I was the FBI, if I was the Prince William County Police Department, I'm running an investigation into the hotel, and my confidential informant got in a vehicle accident, and oh shit, her cell phone is going to compromise all of us. What do? Whatever it takes, don't let that cell phone enter Mustafa's case. Well, how are you going to fucking do that? You can't. By law, you can't do that. By law, Dorothy's cell phone is exculpatory evidence into Mustafa's case. Because you're accusing Mustafa that he has a bad relationship with his girlfriend. You have to go into her cell phone. That's exculpatory evidence. But they don't care. Whatever it takes. If you have to threaten a lawyer, threaten the fucking lawyer. If you have to raid the lawyer's office, raid the lawyer's office. If you have to keep Mustafa in solitary and prevent him from going to trial, keep him in solitary. Seal off his case. This community is not going to know what is going on behind closed doors. No one's going to know. We're going to say that he did it on purpose. Seal off his case. And we're not going to update the community. I mean, what is Julie Carey with NBC4 doing in the Mustafa Aljazairi case? She reported on it essentially, told you what the police department, essentially what they lied about, and no longer updating the community into what we're finding. The whole file is all over the internet, and clearly the police department lied. Clearly, they lied. Evidence showed that the police department falsified a whole entire case. Where is the news? Oh, that's right. The news is in the back pocket of the police department. Julie Carey is in the back pocket of the police department, in the back pocket of the government official or county officials that are getting money from the strip club. They're paying hush money to look the other way. Let's go into the scene and look at what officers were doing after the vehicle accident when they were going through Mustafa's girlfriend's purse. What did they find? Gee, I wonder what they found. I wonder what Officer Chad Mason that cut and muted Mustafa's dash camera. I wonder what Officer Robert Drum, who falsified Mustafa's statements, found in Dorothy and Mustafa's girlfriend purse. Let's take a look.
There's another one. Same person? I don't know what the fuck that is. What is that?
Pass?
A green card? Director of General Home Affairs?
Dorothy is walking around with what kind of IDs? Let's listen to that one more time.
There's another one. Same person? I don't know what the fuck that is. What is that?
House?
A green card? Director of General Home Affairs?
Director General of Home Affairs? What kind of fucking ID are you walking around with, Dorothy? Director General Home Affairs? Wait a minute. Let me ask a better question. Why is your children have multiple names? Oh, what is he talking about? What am I talking about? Does Ava Clapp have a different name? Does Kylie Clapp have a different name? Oh, shit. He has information that is not supposed to get out. What's a mother changing all her children's names? Kylie, why did you fucking change your name? Are you stripping at the Crystal City Club? Oh, wait a minute. Your dad works there. You told that yourself. Oh, interesting. So, Dorothy Clapp changed all of her children's names. Dorothy Fontaine has all her children's names changed. Interesting. She's walking around with the weird ID. She has 3 cell phones. She lives in a hotel. And she's taking pictures of vehicles that enter and exit the hotel. Let's keep digging through the Mustafa Aljazairi case.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. SA citizen? I've never seen it. I think it's a green card.
I hate androids.
Record of voting?
Send it to RJ.
Make sure nothing's gonna fucking stick me. Hey, Sermon! Rob! Can you grab a big brown paper bag? No, it's out of my truck.
You notice that he's calling out to Sermon. Officer Sermon is unique because in another body cam, we captured him telling Chad Mason, we captured him talking about Mustafa's 2018 lawsuit. He's like, I didn't know this cat. I remember this cat. Oh, that's the guy that's suing. We've been briefed about him. And then RJ and Patrol, they're talking about RJ and Patrol. They've been watching Mustafa and his family. Oh, interesting. Mustafa sues the police. Next thing you know, he meets this girl. Next thing you know, we're going to go through the timeline. Let's continue watching what we're seeing here.
Just gonna put all of her shit in a fucking
Bag.
Yeah. Make sure nothing's gonna fucking stick me when I put it in.
That's what she said.
Oh, I got gloves!
We're off. You're on.
I'm on while I'm searching her shit. Cell phone.
There's another phone on the floor, too.
Another fucking phone. Camera lens. Well, it's a legit camera lens.
Oh, what did you just find? What did you just say? What are you finding in their purse? Oh, cell phone, another cell phone. Oh, a camera lens. Wait a minute. I thought Dorothy Fontaine was homeless. Jesus Christ. I can barely afford one cell phone. Who's paying for the 3 cell phones? Who's paying the phone bill? Wait a minute. I thought this girl is homeless. She's living in a hotel. She's living in and out of her vehicle. I thought she was homeless. But we're watching.
For the hotel.
Who's paying for the hotel? Who's paying for the hotel? Who's paying the cell phone bills? Did you see that camera lens? That's an $800, $900 lens. I mean,
no, we didn't.
That lens is fucking expensive. Let's take a look at it one more time. I mean, what's a homeless person walking around with a lens? One, it's expensive. Two, what do you need a lens for? Oh, that's right. You're taking pictures of vehicles that enter and exit the hotel. Who are you taking pictures for, Dorothy Fontaine? Oh, that's right. You're a confidential informant for the fucking police. Oh, that's right. That's why your cell phone is... That's why they're avoiding to have your cell phone enter the Mustafa Aljazairi case. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's why Mustafa's case is not moving forward. Because by law, you have to enter Dorothy's cell phone into the case. Oh, that's right. If they put your cell phone in Mustafa's case, it's going to compromise the operation they have at the Dumfries Hotel. Oh, that's right. They've been watching the hotel for years, and they're investigating drugs and prostitution, and you are their informant. And what do we know about confidential informants? You'll never find paperwork on them. What's the difference between a rat and a confidential informant? You'll never find paperwork on a confidential informant that's going to lead you back to the police. I mean, at one point in court, and I find that really disturbing. It's really disturbing when the prosecutor stands up and tells Judge Carol Weimer, the presiding judge, during a Brady motion, the defense attorney Brad Haywood in the Brady motion demanded the communication, the prosecutor's communication, the police officer's communication. By law, that information has to be released to the defense because there's a lot of bias. You're talking about a falsified case, and the defense is entitled to the communication. The prosecutor Sarah Sammy, stood up in court, and she told Judge Carol Weimer, it's dangerous to release the communication. Well, when you find out that the communication is going to tie the whole entire case back into the operation they have at the Dumfries Hotel, well, it's obvious. You're going to see text communication between Dorothy Fontaine and the officers involved in the Mustafa Aljazairi case. The prosecutor tells him it's dangerous to release that information. Why is it dangerous? What's on those communications that is dangerous?
And there's another phone.
One phone, two phones, three phones. Beautiful.
I'll go through this shit back at the station. I don't know what else. You got it?
Well, you get some overtime tomorrow.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to take it, dude. Okay. We're both in the same boat.
Thank you. You want to throw it on the...
Inside your car?
You can put it on the front seat or the passenger.
We'll grab the other phone from. Well, now you're in the senior custody. Congratulations. I know. You're now going forward. Can you hold this phone? Don't. I like how as soon as Huggy saw me taking pictures, he did. I'm out. You'll get to be major by doing that.
Hey, what is that down there? Is that a camera? What is that down there?
She has a nice camera lens. Fuck.
She has a nice camera lens. Yeah, we're all looking at the same thing. It's a $900, just about a $900 camera lens. Wait a minute. I thought Dorothy was homeless. All right. So far, we looked at the license plates that Dorothy was taken inside the hotel. We looked at the body cam where they found a lens in Dorothy's purse after the accident. We looked at Dorothy's daughter telling us that her mom lived at the hotel. We read the transcript where they're avoiding the cell phone dump from Dorothy Fontaine. Let's take a look at what Dorothy's ex-husband is telling us about Dorothy. I mean, Dorothy's ex-husband, on a police body cam, he tells us that Dorothy did whatever she wanted and she'll never get arrested. She drives without a driver license. Police show up and they just let her go. And essentially, he's confused. He's like, I don't understand it. She does whatever she wants. Well, I've got news for the ex-husband, Divine Jones. Maybe your ex-wife was a confidential informant. Let's take a look at what Divine Jones is telling us about Dorothy Fontaine. And it's just, you know, we're putting Dorothy under the microscope. And we're building a case. I mean, everything that we're finding out about Dorothy Fontaine tell us that she's a confidential informant. I mean, the fact that she's sitting in a fucking hotel and is taking pictures of license plates, and now we're finding out that the FBI have been watching and investigating the hotel for years, tell you everything you need to know about why Mustafa's case is not moving forward. It's not moving forward because they want and refuse to have Dorothy's cell phone enter the Mustafa Aljazairi case. Let's take a look and listen to what Divine Jones is telling us about Dorothy Fontaine. And let me just set the scene for you. Inside the police department, Investigator Romero and Investigator Mole is sitting down with the half-brother. And at one point, the ex-husband called Investigator Romero. And the ex-husband, they don't tell him that the half-brother is inside the police department, sitting down with them in that room. He just puts him on speaker and he's talking to him. And you'll hear the conversation. This is specifically on that body cam. It's exactly, if you fast forward that conversation to 38 minutes. Let's listen.
So who was it that was saying they were going to shoot you? Was it Glenn or the other guy?
No, it was Glenn.
It was Glenn.
Yeah, but see, he knows where I live, and I still don't even know. I still don't even know him. I don't know what he drives or anything, so I can't even be on point for that type of situation. Because they sent me a picture one time of their location, and they was right on the street where I live. And I'm like, and I called her. I said, "Where's the picture?" And I said, "Matter of fact, where's the kids?" Because I kept calling Prince William Child Protective, like, somebody go check on my kids.
All right, so Divine Jones, the ex-husband, is telling Investigator Romero that the ex-boyfriend, the boyfriend before Mustafa, the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford, threatened to kill him. We'll put Glenn Ford under a microscope. We have a whole entire program for Glenn Ford. We have multiple podcasts that we're going to be doing about Glenn Ford, and we're going to get to know who Glenn Ford is. Here, we're being introduced to Glenn Ford from the ex-husband, who he's telling the police department at one point, the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford, threatened to kill him.
Because I knew she'd be leaving. Y'all just pulled her over, coming from the masses, and let her go. She ain't never had license. She done had over 20 pullovers and never even went to jail. It's like no car seats and all this stuff.
All right. What did the ex-husband tell us about Dorothy? No car seat. No car seat. Driving around without a driver license. Shows up, does whatever she wants. I mean, these are all signs of a confidential informant. You walk around with 3 cell phones. You show up, you do whatever you want, and the police don't touch you. You're living in a hotel, pretending to be homeless. Supposedly, you're homeless. You're in and out of hotels. You're living in and out of your van. But you're sitting there taking pictures of vehicles coming in and exiting the hotel. These are all signs of a confidential informant. One thing that is disturbing is Dorothy Fontaine, her 5-year-old child, her 9-year-old child, her 10-year-old child, and her 14 didn't go to school. Where is CPS? Where's the police department from a mother that's not letting her kids go to school? You want to tell me these are not signs that the police are just looking the other way? All right. So that's Dorothy and what we're finding out about Dorothy. And now that we know what we know about Dorothy, now that we know that the FBI is telling us all over the news that they've been watching the hotel, we can safely say and connect the dots that Dorothy Fontaine was a confidential informant for the police. Because if you're the FBI, if you're the police, and you're watching a hotel for drugs and sex trafficking, you're going to need someone on the outside. These are your informants. Now, fast forward to the vehicle accident of Mustafa Aljazairi. And the question is, why is Dorothy's cell phone not being entered, being blocked by the prosecutor into Mustafa's case? And Mustafa sits in solitary confinement for over 3 years, and his case is not moving forward. I think it's relevant to the conversation to know the timeline of when Mustafa met Dorothy. What happened before Mustafa met Dorothy? And what doesn't make sense, and it's been 3 years, and it just doesn't make any sense. Mustafa met Dorothy. Mustafa's whole entire relationship with Dorothy Fontaine is 3 months long. Mustafa met Dorothy. He says, I saved her from that life. We fell in love with each other. I found out later that she has kids, and naturally, I took the role of a father figure. Their dad was not around. What happened before Mustafa met Dorothy? Now, there was a huge altercation between Mustafa and the club owner out of Crystal City, the strip club in Crystal City. Let's watch a video where that club owner has a huge altercation with Mustafa and essentially goes viral. Over 9 million people saw that video. Each video that was released on that account related to that incident reached millions of views. The whole community, and essentially the community started boycotting that establishment because there's a lot of racism when you walk away. The club owner out of Crystal City is racist. You see him breathing down the neck of Mustafa, being racist to Mustafa for essentially making a living. Mustafa was in that area when that club owner essentially wanted to remove him off a sidewalk. It's a public easement. It's a sidewalk. And he wanted to remove Mustafa for essentially promoting his business. And that video went viral. The problem here is 1 month after that video goes viral, Mustafa meets Dorothy Fontaine. And now we're finding out that her 16-year-old daughter and Dorothy's ex-husband works for that club owner. I mean, this is coming full circle. Let's watch that video. And maybe we can all make sense of what's happening in Mustafa's case. This is Billy Bain Jr., the same individual that's paying, that we watched earlier, pay a lot of money into the county supervisors.
Mark, can you turn it up a little louder? They're saying they can't hear it.
All right, let me see if I can put the volume up.
Okay.
Is it, I mean, can you hear anything at all?
Yeah, you can hear, yeah, but it's low. You got to really listen.
That's the highest. I mean, that's the loudest it's gonna go. If you're tuning in on TikTok and you can't hear, if you can't hear, it's not clear on TikTok, you can always tune in to YouTube. Our YouTube channel is under Not Another Boring Podcast. Tune into YouTube. It's a lot easier following us there. We're playing a lot of videos, and you can see the videos on YouTube. The channel name is Not Another Boring Podcast. I want to thank everybody for being here. Tune in to YouTube. It's going to be a lot easier following what we're talking about. All right, so this is the video for Billy Bain Jr. and what happened a month before Mustafa met Dorothy.
Fucking keep it up, and goddamn it, I'm telling you, you're gonna fucking go. Are you gonna assault me? You're gonna fucking get off my property. How many times do I have to tell him, officer? Get the fuck off my property. Get the fuck off it.
I got this whole thing on
You're
video.
good. Get the fuck off my property. You get the fuck off it.
You're gonna go to jail, bro.
Yeah, you watch who goes to fucking jail. How many times have you heard how many times I've told him? And you'll fucking see where we're standing. Get the fuck off my property, motherfucker.
Bitch, stop standing.
Fuck you. Get off. Fucking keep it up, and goddamn it, I'm telling you.
Mustafa. Mustafa is in the area. There is a strip club right next to where there's a 7-Eleven. Right next to where there's a Chinese restaurant. And at the time, you don't need permission from anybody, but Mustafa has permission from the Chinese place and the 7-Eleven. And essentially, he's on public property, a public easement, a fucking sidewalk. And that individual, the owner of that club, he can't just remove somebody and tell someone to leave a sidewalk. That video goes viral. You have a fat white guy breathing down a Mustafa's neck. There's racism all over that video. And essentially, the community stopped boycotting that equipment. Now, that's one situation. Before that situation, 1 month after that situation, Mustafa met Dorothy Fontaine. And what's weird and what I can't understand is that we're finding out that her daughter and the ex-husband, Jason Clapp, works for that club owner. Let's watch the 16-year-old daughter, Dorothy's 16-year-old daughter, tell you that her dad works for that club owner.
Especially the older daughter.
My dad, he's a piercer. He pierces like a lot of strippers, and he had brought up to them what.
My dad, she's talking about her dad, Jason Clapp. He pierces all the strippers for Billy Bain Jr. Hold on now. You're telling me that Mustafa, that the club owner has an altercation with Mustafa. It goes viral. 1 month later, the community stopped boycotting that establishment. 1 month later, Mustafa meets a girl, Dorothy Fontaine. And then you want to tell me full circle, her daughter and the ex-husband works for the person that's telling Mustafa, I'm going to make sure that you're in jail. Let's watch who's going to end up in jail. Well, what's really disturbing is that daughter. There is a recording. We had a private investigator that sat down with the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford. And on a recorded line, he said that this daughter came up to him and asked him to unalive Mustafa. And can we make it look like an accident? Let's listen to that recording.
Especially the older daughter. And she wanted me to shoot, like, kill him.
The older daughter wanted you to kill him?
Yeah. Like, where? Like, could you please, like, if I make it look like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, something, and it's like self-defense, would you do it? And I'm like, no. Especially the older daughter. And
she came up to him and asked him to unalive Mustafa. And can we make it look like an accident? Wait a minute. What's a 16-year-old girl asking the ex-boyfriend to unalive Mustafa? Oh, wait a minute. Is she being pushed to do and go around and solicit the unaliving of Mustafa? Oh, wait a minute. She's tied up to the club owner? Her dad and her works for Billy Bain Jr.? In a forensic interview, she tells the lady that's conducting the forensic interview, she says, my dad is making me come here. Let's watch the forensic interview.
So what is it that brought you here? Like, why are you here to talk to me today?
Because my dad made me. She says, the forensic interviewer is asking her, why are you here? She tells her, my dad is making me. Well, who's your dad, ma'am? Oh, that's right. Your dad is the individual that pierces all the strippers for the club owner, Billy Bain Jr. Interesting. My dad made me. And then when you watch the rest of the forensic interview, when she leaves, when the lady conducting the forensic interview leave, that little girl starts laughing. And she has a weird, evil smile on her face, like mission accomplished. Let's watch.
Let me go real quick, okay? And I'll come right back. All right? All right.
You want to tell me that's normal? You want to tell me that is normal? My dad made me. The person the person that works for the club owner, that hates Mustafa, that went viral and the community started boycotting his establishment. Now you've got this girl going around to the ex-boyfriend soliciting to unalive Mustafa. In a forensic interview, create a huge story, and we have evidence that she lied about the whole entire thing. My dad made me. I want to thank Zulak for being here. Thank you for being here. I've read all your comments and messages, and I'll tell you, it's interesting reading your questions. It gives you insight into what is going on in the Mustafa case. And unfortunately for the police department and the prosecutor, we have the whole file. So the questions that you're asking me, we can absolutely answer. Having the body cams in the document, and this case lasting as long as it has lasted, it's been over 3 years. We're finding out what the club owner is doing. We're finding out what Mustafa's girlfriend was doing. We're finding out the circle that's around Mustafa. And you're right on point. I mean, here you said, after money stopped flowing. After money stopped flowing, it might have put them at risk. Also, if Mustafa got in the way of yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Mustafa met Dorothy, Dorothy was living in a hotel, taking pictures of vehicles that were coming in and exiting the hotel. Dorothy was prostituting. Mustafa says, I saved her from that life. Now, is it possible that Dorothy Fontaine wanted to leave that life behind? Is it possible that Dorothy fell in love with Mustafa and wanted to leave that life behind? I mean, one thing that I can't wrap my head around is what that 16-year-old said in a forensic interview. She said, my mother blocked me. And she's upset that her mother blocked her and chose Mustafa. She said, my mother blocked me and chose Mustafa over me. So let me just put this in perspective. Is it possible that Dorothy Fontaine didn't want to have anything to do with the police anymore? Didn't want to associate with whatever she had going on in that hotel? And her daughter is being pushed to pull her mother back. Pushed by who exactly? Oh, that's right, Dorothy Fontaine's pimp. The person, I mean, when you're a prostitute, who do you prostitute? You have someone that collects the money at the end of the day. I mean, there's a whole entire operation behind that operation. You don't just prostitute. You have someone that watches out for you. You have someone that collects the money at the end of the day. And where does that money go? Oh, that's right. It goes back into the strip club. Because if you're a prostitute at that hotel, you're also stripping at that club. And you have individuals that at the end of the day collect money. Is it possible that the club owner or whoever was handling Dorothy Fontaine was terrified that Dorothy Fontaine might walk away and potentially become a liability? Yeah, it's possible. Knowing what we know about Dorothy Fontaine and what she was involved in, yeah, it's possible that they were terrified that Dorothy Fontaine is now a liability. Let's watch what Kylie Clapp said. My mother blocked me and chose Mustafa over me.
I hadn't talked to them in a while because this was before she had fully made it clear that she chose him, but she ghosted me to be with him. I hadn't talked to them in a while because this was before she had fully made it clear that she chose him, but she ghosted me to be with him.
My mother blocked me and chose Mustafa over me. Wait a minute. I thought you're telling us as a prosecutor in the police department that Mustafa is abusive, that Mustafa hates his girlfriend. Here, her daughter is talking about that the mother blocked her daughter and chose Mustafa over her. And just essentially doesn't want anything to do with that life. You know, I find it really interesting that Mustafa's case is not moving forward because of Dorothy Fontaine's cell phone dump. And the police department wants to avoid Dorothy's cell phone dump. But on day one, the investigator, the same investigator, Investigator Davis, the same investigator that had Mustafa's vehicle crushed. I mean, let that sink in. Mustafa's vehicle was crushed and staged by the police department. Why was that vehicle crushed? I mean, you, the police department, what did you ask Mustafa inside the hospital that all of a sudden you had to crush Mustafa's vehicle? But by the way, that's illegal. You, the police department, you, the prosecutor, is accusing that Mustafa crashed his vehicle on purpose. Mustafa has a constitutional right to hire an independent expert and inspect the vehicle Evidence show that this is a car accident. Mustafa has a right to inspect the vehicle. What did Investigator Davis do? He crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle. Oh, wait a minute. That's the same investigator. That's the same investigator who's on the phone with Kylie Clapp, making sure to identify Dorothy's cell phone. Why is Investigator Davis on day one so concerned about Dorothy's cell phone? And for 3 years, they're terrified to go through her cell phone. Dorothy's cell phone is they're avoiding to have her cell phone be part of the case. But on day one, Investigator Davis is calling Kylie Clapp, that 16-year-old, who's connected back to the club owner, and is asking to identify and is asking her about her mom's cell phone. Let's watch. If you go on YouTube, under Not Another Boring Podcast, there's a playlist for all the police body cams. So police body cams, Mustafa Aljazairi. And specifically, you want to go to Exhibit 47 and Exhibit 48. We've got all the police body cam numbered. So if you go to 48, 47, and 48. Absolutely. Zulak is asking, does a judge have to sign off on a car to get it crushed? The police department, Investigator Davis, in the beginning, they told us that the reason the vehicle was chopped up and crushed is because it's part of the extraction effort, that they were extracting Mustafa, extracting his family. And we found out there's pictures of the vehicle, and where the vehicle, we found out that the bystanders extracted Mustafa and his family before the fire department got there, before the police department got there. So essentially, they told us a lie. They told us it's part of the extraction. And now they've changed their story. They said, because we wanted to get the ACM in the vehicle, the black box, the computer inside the vehicle. Well, hold on now. When you look at the pictures of the vehicle after the vehicle accident, you can clearly see that the vehicle was not crushed in from the accident. That you can clearly have access. You have access to the ACM. Why did you crush the vehicle? Now, let's entertain that narrative. Let's entertain the narrative that you had to chop up the vehicle to get to the ACM. To cut the vehicle, you have to have a specific warrant. Where exactly you're going to cut at this vehicle before you can start cutting the vehicle. Instead, what the police department did, they had the fire department cut the vehicle. Wait a minute. The fire department has equipment, has the jaw of life. And essentially, to have the fire department cut at the vehicle, they're going to destroy the vehicle. Why would you have the fire department cut at the vehicle where 2 people died in the vehicle accident? That vehicle is part of an investigation. You're charging Mustafa with M1. You have to preserve the vehicle. And if you're going to cut at the vehicle, you have to have a specific warrant to cut, to know where to cut. There has to be a reason to what you're cutting. You can't have the fire department. That's even worse. You can't have the fire department crush the vehicle for you to get the computer inside the vehicle. Forget all of that. You have room. You have access to the ACM. This is the vehicle after the accident. This is the vehicle after the accident. Bystander extracted everybody. Bystander extracted Mustafa and his family. So you can clearly see this is the vehicle at the scene after the accident. And here is where the ACM. The ACM is right here. Right there. You clearly have access to get the ACM. Why did you crush the vehicle? This is what they did to the vehicle. What happened? Why the fuck did you chop up the vehicle? Why did you crush the vehicle? I mean, you want to tell me the vehicle is in this condition because you wanted to get the ACM? I'm sorry. Run that by me one more time. You did that to the vehicle to get to the ACM? You clearly had access to the ACM. The question is, what did Mustafa tell you in the hospital that all of a sudden you felt the need to crush his vehicle? In the hospital, Mustafa told you, I don't know what happened. There was something wrong with my car. Now, wait a minute. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into this vehicle and crush it? What do you hope to get out of that transaction? You destroyed the evidence? I mean, essentially, you, the police department, is destroying the evidence. Oh, wait a minute. When you inspected the vehicle, when you, the police department, inspected the vehicle, let's watch what the police department found in this vehicle. The police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle and found that the computer inside the vehicle showed that Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. He's trying to stop the vehicle. They inspected the vehicle and found brake failure. Let's watch the body cam where the police department inspect Mustafa's vehicle and they find brake failure. So essentially, Mustafa's hitting the brake, trying to stop but the vehicle would not stop.
Push it back in. Okay. Unapproved light. Yeah. Yeah, we saw it. Hey, where's my clipboard at? I don't know. Rob had it. Clipboard. Okay.
Those are brand new rotors and everything.
Yeah. For the left front? Okay, go ahead. 38? Okay. So the right rear tire brake didn't engage.
So what you have here is Investigator Davis. They're inspecting Mustafa's vehicle, and they go on and find out that Mustafa's passenger rear brake doesn't work. The front passenger and the back passenger doesn't work. So there's brake failure. So the computer inside the vehicle showed that Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. The police inspect Mustafa's vehicle and find brake failure. Now, the police department crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle. There's a judge order where Mustafa defense has a right to hire an independent expert and inspect the vehicle. It's been 3 years. And the prosecutor in the police department on body cam is blocking the independent expert to inspect Mustafa's vehicle. They're terrified. Because once you do, you're going to find out that the police department, 1, crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle. 2, there's brake failure, and is going to expose what this police department is doing. Now, why are we talking about Mustafa's brake failure? We're talking about Mustafa's brake failure is because Mustafa, you have in the background an individual who said, can we unalive Mustafa and make it look like an accident? Oh, I wonder who that person is. Oh, that's right. Dorothy's 16-year-old daughter went to the ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford, and asked him to unalive Mustafa. Oh, that's right. Wait a minute. Who is Kylie? Oh, Kylie and her dad works for the club owner. The club owner who had a giant altercation with Mustafa. And now you're talking about a situation where there's brake failure, there's an accident, there's a whole entire circle being built around Mustafa. The details that are coming out of this case is that this is a car accident. And this case should have already went to trial. I mean, you, the prosecutor, is telling us that Mustafa crashed the vehicle on purpose. All right, let's litigate this in court. But the prosecutor is terrified to take this to trial because what's going to come out is that this is a car accident. And you have police officer that one, falsified the whole entire case. And two, the girlfriend has been communicating with the police as an informant. And it's tied up to a whole entire... Yes, ma'am.
They want to know what the ex-boyfriend's history looks like.
Which one?
The ex-boyfriend, Glenn Ford.
Oh, the ex-boyfriend? Wait, spilled the coffee here.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break. Run that question by me one more time. What about the ex-boyfriend?
They want to know what his history looks like.
Oh, his history. His history. He has a beautiful history. Drugs.
Yes, he does have
guns.
a criminal record.
He has a huge criminal history. And
but what happened to his record?
What happened to his record? I'll do you one better. Let's hear the ex-boyfriend on a recorded line tell a private investigator what he's involved with. In this
they said his
recording,
involvement with the strip club. If he has any involvement with the strip club.
In this recording, he talks about drugging the 16-year-old, sleeping with the 16-year-old. Let's listen to what he has to say. Let's let the ex-boyfriend give us insight into who he is, into who that 16-year-old daughter is. It's one thing when I'm telling you this information. It's another thing when you listen to the information directly from him.
How old was she? 16? 15 or 16. The one time my daughter came to my house all high and shit, I'm like, yo, God, nah. I told her, like, yo.
Like just weed or?
No, it's not weed. If it was weed, I wouldn't care as much.
Yeah.
She used to come in and
like nodding.
And it's like on the ground, like,
like opiates.
Man, I'm sitting there like, bruh. Like, I took them.
Yeah.
And I didn't act like that. Like,
yeah.
That was like me. I used to do it like to the point where I took it because I didn't want to get sick with withdrawal.
Yeah.
So I took like one. I think one, I'm good for the day.
Yeah.
She looked like she took like multiple, or she took them like different ways.
Did the mom do it with her?
No. I know it for a fact. Dorothy didn't do pills with her, but she would smoke weed with her.
Okay.
What did he say? He's like, I took him. He's like, she shows up all high. And she's like, she's like all over the floor. So what are you doing to the 16-year-old? You're giving her drugs that she doesn't know where she's at, that she's on the floor, she doesn't know where she's at. And you're going to tell us what exactly you wake up to her in your bed. A minor, Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, is telling us that the 16-year-old, he wakes up to her in his bed. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You kicked them out? Let's listen to what the ex-boyfriend's talking about.
I told Dorothy, your daughter comes in this house like that one more
Why do you think that she did something like she did what happened to her with that one?
Her daughter said it.
What the fuck she say?
Like when she was arguing with her mom, like, cause Dorothy and her used to argue all the time.
This is not the oldest
Not
one.
the oldest one. The oldest one, she's a sweetheart. She's a fucking sweetheart.
She's arguing with her mom about fucking the same guy. Oh, that's interesting. So you have the 16-year-old and the mother are fighting over you, and the 16-year-old is telling her, Dad Glenford, I'm fucking him, by the way. And he kicked them both out. He said, nope, we're not going to. I'm going to go on a limb and say that you broke up with your girlfriend and kicked her out because you're fucking her 16-year-old daughter.
But she gangster too.
Nah.
Like, she gangster, like, she's ready to kill that nigga. Like, seriously kill that nigga.
She's the one that wanted to kick him.
The older one.
So what did she say to?
Oh, cause
they be arguing.
Yeah, and she be like, the way she dressed and shit. Dorothy be like, you run around acting like a little slut or whatever. And she be like, oh, you look pop all the time.
So the mom is upset at her 16-year-old daughter because she walks around the house dressed up like a slut.
Back because we used to fuck the same guys and da-da-da-da and all that.
We used to fuck the same guy. Interesting.
Shit, I'm like, oh.
What?
Y'all gotta go.
Wow.
Y'all gotta go.
Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go. And then he kicked and broke up with his girlfriend. You broke up with your girlfriend over what? Her 16-year-old daughter?
Wow. And she was only 16? And said, we used to?
I'm like, y'all gotta go. This shit right here, like, nah, I'm not about that life, nah. I don't want no cops knocking on my door asking for you.
Wow.
And they did that too. After I kicked.
I don't want no cops coming after knocking on my door, and they did that too. Where are the police reports?
The school system came. It's like, yeah, it's Dorothy Fontaine. I'm like, yo, she can fucking live there. What am I here for? Yeah, because her kids haven't been in school for weeks. I'm like, I don't know where she at. She doesn't live here. She never lived here. Like,
a lot of her behaviors remind me of someone who has a substance abuse problem.
she never, like, she didn't do no drugs.
What about that Mustafa guy?
I don't know. I just think he just smokes weed. Cause I even asked her, like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, you on?
Is he an alcoholic?
I just know he smokes weed. Because I asked her, like, you know what I'm saying, because at that time I was taking the shit, and I was like, hey, would it be a problem? Like, you know what, just stop anything. I won't, if I do it, I won't do it in this house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So every time I, like, come home from work, I would do it before I get in the house.
Yeah.
Or I would step out my house. Even though I shouldn't have to step out my house.
Yeah.
And every time she's trying to sleep in my bed, like, no, go in the fucking living room, yo.
Oh, what an honest man. She tried to sleep in my bed. I woke up, she's in my bed. I told her, go over there. Go in the living room. What an honest Glenford. What an honest man. He wakes up to a 16-year-old and he said, no, we're not going to do that. You're going to go in the living room. Wait a minute. Oh, you're talking about the same 16-year-old that you give drugs to that she doesn't know where she's at. Are you drugging that 16-year-old? Yeah, you're drugging that 16-year-old. Are you sleeping with that 16-year-old? Yeah, she's waking up in your bed.
I'm like, you're not sleeping in my bed, not with me in it. Like, I don't want none of that drama. I don't want to be caught up with none of that shit. One time I went to sleep, I woke up, she was in my bed, I got my ass up and went in the fucking living room and stuff. Like, it's right now. Like, I fuck with you, my friend and all that, like, I know we had a history, we had a past, whatever, but this is different. This is fucking different. We are grown. You are still you're in a worse situation what I met you in. Yeah. I had to force those kids to take a shower. I had to force those kids to...
Wait. What about the kids? What about the kids? You had to force the kids to take a shower. Wait a minute. Dorothy's kids are a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old. You're already telling us that you're fucking the 16-year-old. Now you're forcing her children to take a shower. I'm not looking at them. I'm just showering them. Let's listen to that one more time.
I know we had a history, we had a past, whatever, but this is different. This is fucking different. We are grown. You are still you're in a worse situation what I met you in. Yeah. I had to force those kids to take a shower. I had to force those kids to take a fucking shower. I had to teach them how to fucking take a shower. I mean, I wasn't in there with the boys looking at them or whatever. I'm like, yo, when y'all wash up, you know, that's how you wash up. Every day when I come home from work, whatever, I spend at least an hour of my time.
That's Glenn Ford for you, the ex-boyfriend who's given us a lot of insight into who her 16-year-old daughter, who is Dorothy, what was going on before Mustafa met Dorothy. I mean, essentially when Mustafa met Dorothy, this piece of shit, Glenn Ford, essentially broke up with Dorothy, and the reason that she was living in and out of her van in a hotel is because he broke up with her. And he broke up with her over what exactly? Oh, he's fucking her 16-year-old daughter. All right. Fast forward to Mustafa meeting Dorothy. Mustafa tells you, I saved Dorothy out of that life. What was she doing when you met Dorothy, Mustafa? Dorothy was prostituting herself. I talked her out of leaving that life and moving on and building something real. We fell in love with each other. I found out later that she has children, and I naturally took that role in their life. Their dad wasn't around. And now we're finding out, fast forward, there is a vehicle accident. There's a vehicle accident. And every piece of detail coming out of this case is that this is a car accident. Now, did someone tamper with Mustafa's brakes? Where's the police department from investigating what the ex-boyfriend is telling us? That the 16-year-old came up to him to unalive Mustafa. Where's the police department? I mean, this is the ex-boyfriend on a recorded line admit that someone came up and wanted to unalive. And today we have brake failure in the vehicle. Where's the police department from looking into? Oh, that's right, the police department. The police department looks the other way. Mustafa's case is not moving forward because they refuse to have Dorothy's cell phone enter into the Mustafa Aljazairi case. That's breaking the law. The prosecutor opened the door to Dorothy's cell phone as exculpatory evidence when she accused Mustafa that he hates his girlfriend. The minute that you say that, Mustafa has a right to show the judge, show the jury, the text communication between him and his girlfriend. But the prosecutor is terrified. And now we're finding out there is more to the story. every piece of evidence showed that Dorothy Fontaine was living at that hotel before Mustafa. When Mustafa met her, what was she doing at the hotel? We're finding out that she's taking pictures of vehicle coming in, coming out. Wait a minute. Are they not entering Dorothy's cell phone into this case because Dorothy was a confidential informant for the police involved in a completely different operation for the police department and the FBI? I mean, all over the news, they're telling us that they're investigating the hotel. And obviously, as a police department, as the FBI, you rely on informants. I mean, you've got a girl taking pictures for you inside the hotel, and now all of a sudden there's a vehicle accident. Is that why you're not putting her cell phone into the case? I want to read what Mustafa, a couple of months ago, told Judge Carol Weimer. At the time, Mustafa's defense attorney, he told us that he will threaten off the Mustafa Aljazairi case. In court, he put in for a withdrawal. He withdrew out of Mustafa's case. He withdrew out of Mustafa's case. In court, he says, my client is innocent. My client, Mustafa Aljazairi, is innocent, and the police falsified this whole entire case. There's a document where that lawyer, this is a document. Let's pull up the document so that way we're all on the same page. There we go. All right, so this document reads, signed by Brad Haywood. This document reads, Mustafa Aljazairi has been unjustly accused of murder, which was the product of a deeply biased and flawed investigation and merit violation of Aljazairi's constitutional rights. Undersigned counsel firmly believe in Mr. Aljazairi's innocence. All right. So this lawyer is telling the judge, the court, that his client, Mustafa Aljazairi, is innocent. He tells us that he will threaten off the Mustafa Aljazairi case. Let's read what Mustafa at the time stood in court and told Judge Carol Weimer what he's demanding. In court, Mustafa stood and told Judge Carol Weimer, he told him that, one, Your Honor, I refuse for my attorney to withdraw from my case. My attorney has been sitting on my case for a whole entire year. I'm supposed to be going to trial this March. I refuse that my attorney puts in for a withdrawal. Your Honor, I want to go to court on time. I'm demanding that in March we go to trial. Mustafa tells the judge, Your Honor, I'm not asking more than me going through the evidence. I want my cell phone dump. The police department did a cell phone dump on my cell phone and my girlfriend's cell phone. I should be able to go through the cell phones. I mean, essentially, the prosecutor is charging me that I hate my girlfriend. Your Honor, look at the text communication between me and her. We love each other. Mustafa goes on and he tells Judge Carol Weimer, I want to go through my cell phone dump. I want my independent expert to inspect my vehicle and the other vehicle involved. Your Honor, they're blocking my vehicle inspection. They're blocking the extraction from my dash camera. Let's read what Mustafa is telling Judge Carol Weimer. This is Mustafa on November 6, 2025. Mustafa tells Judge Carol Weimer, I wish to ask the court that I oppose that he withdraw from my case because I do need him as my attorney. And it seems that he did not like the fact that I was asking questions about the finding of the result of the inspectors checking my vehicle, checking on digital devices, his cell phone dump. He's asking digital devices, his cell phone dumps. His cell phone and his girlfriend, Dorothy Fontaine's cell phones. Checking the digital devices as you ordered by the end of September. And I was not informed of the outcome. So he did not like the fact that I was asking questions and I'm getting involved in my case. So I have the right to ask questions to my attorney. And then he said that while we were on a phone call conversation, I'm telling my lawyer, like, I have questions. What were the results of the inspector inspecting the vehicle, inspecting the digital devices as you ordered by the end of September? And he said, dude, just fuck off. His attorney is telling Mustafa to fuck off. And disconnected the phone call. So I was very appalled at the fact that, my attorney is telling me to just fuck off and hanging up on me. So that is very troubling. And for me to be involved in my case, and I'm telling him, imagine this is a guy that's been in solitary for over 3 years, and that the government, the prosecutor, is saying that he's guilty. I've never seen a person that's guilty tell the judge, Your Honor, can we inspect the vehicle? Can we look at my cell phone? Can we look at my dash camera? It's supposed to be the other way around. In this case, the prosecutor is terrified, and the person that you're accusing is demanding that you, the judge, look at the evidence. And for me to be involved in my case, and I'm telling him I have a right to my discovery or reasonable material where I can at least find out what's going on with my case. And he said, you have no right to discovery. All you have is a say in saying if you're guilty or not guilty. That's about it. And I don't think that's appropriate, and I don't think that's right. Imagine the lawyer is telling an individual that's been in solitary confinement for 3 years, you don't have a right to look at anything. All you say is you're guilty or not guilty. What are you talking? The Constitution protects Mustafa. Absolutely, Mustafa has a right to go through the exculpatory evidence. Absolutely. But you have a lawyer that's compromised. You have a lawyer that's being threatened. That when Mustafa asks him about his evidence, he tells him, dude, just fuck off. I don't have a problem with Mr. Haywood. Mustafa's telling Judge Weimer, I don't have a problem with my lawyer. But I do have an issue with him not answering my question or telling me I'm not allowed to ask questions that pertain to my case. I would like to know something that's reasonable and understanding that I have the right to know what's going on and what's the status. So I'm sitting in total solitary confinement, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the hole. And I would like to know what's going on with my case. And I would like to have the court compel my attorney to at least share the information with me. I don't want something that he cannot do. I want something that's reasonable so we have a good relationship. But for him to tell me just fuck off and disconnect the phone call, I think somewhere in the Bar Association, the state bar, they have some sort of ethical rule to say that my attorney is not allowed to speak to me like that. That's inappropriate, and I just want to bring that to your attention. I don't have a problem with him, and I don't wish for him to withdraw from my case because we're getting close to trial, and I don't want my trial to be extended further than what it is right now. So if we can stay on track and for me to be involved in my case, that would be reasonable. I would like to have my attorney sit down with me. Until this day, he has not shared any material with discovery with me. I am imagine sitting in solitary confinement in a small confined space for 3 years, and they're not sharing any material with you. And the minute that you ask, they tell you, your lawyer tells you, go fuck yourself. You find out that on the outside, your lawyer is being threatened. I'm sitting here like in the dark. I have the right to know what's going on with my case. What am I being accused of? I want to know like details about my case. I'm asking him questions. And the questions that I asked him was, what are the results of the audio of the dash camera? What are the results of the accident reconstruction that you ordered? You ordered by the end of September that an expert would go in and inspect the vehicle by the end of September. This was your order. He's telling Judge Weimer, Your Honor, you ordered by the end of September that the vehicle gets inspected. You ordered by the end of September that we're going to go in and extract the audio of the dash camera. And the full that you ordered that, Your Honor. This was your order, and to inspect the SD from the dash camera. And I'm asking Mr. Haywood, that are the results. What are the results? I would like to know for my own, so I can prepare a defense for my case. I'm the one who's being accused. I'm the client. And if my attorney is telling me, dude, just fuck off, and you have no right to discovery, you have no right to be involved in your case, then there is a violation of my constitutional rights. And I would like to assert that I have the right to know what's going on with my case. So Mustafa is telling Judge Weimer, the presiding judge, this is November 6th, 2025. So just the other day, he's telling Judge Weimer, I need to go through my cell phone dump. The police department did a cell phone dump on my cell phone, did a cell phone dump on my girlfriend's cell phone. The prosecutor is accusing me that I hate my girlfriend. Check the text messages. Why am I being denied that the text messages enter my case? I've never seen a case where the person that you're accusing that he's a criminal, that he's guilty, you, the prosecutor, is accusing Mustafa. That person is telling you, check my text messages, check my cell phone, and you, the prosecutor, is terrified. I mean, the roles are upside down here. You, the prosecutor, is supposed to be interested in looking at the cell phone. Mustafa is supposed to be terrified. I mean, aren't you saying that he's guilty? Wait a minute. Oh, that's right. Dorothy Fontaine was involved in something else. Dorothy Fontaine worked as an informant for the police. I mean, all over the news, they're telling us that they've been watching that hotel that she's been living in. Oh, that's right. Dorothy Fontaine has been taking pictures for the police. Pictures of every vehicle that comes in, every vehicle that leaves. Oh, that's right. Dorothy Fontaine was communicating with the police before Mustafa met her. I mean, when you take a look at Mustafa, who is Mustafa? Oh, that's right. That's the guy that was suing the police. Next thing you know, all of a sudden, there's a club owner involved. Details are going to keep coming out of this case. This is a video where the police, before the vehicle accident, before Dorothy, this is during Mustafa's lawsuit against the police. What did the police say they were doing to Mustafa? Oh, that's right. They were watching Mustafa. I have a video where they enter Mustafa's vehicle. That's after the lawsuit. Mustafa's suing the police, and the lawsuit is ongoing. And when you sue the police, it takes a long time. At the time, Mustafa's lawyer is negotiating a settlement for $500,000. The police go into Mustafa's vehicle. Let's hear what the police are talking about.
Not really, no.
So they're
Like a bunch of assholes.
They're the Aljazaris. They're being watched. They live on you know these guys?
Not really, no.
So they're
like a bunch of assholes.
They're the Aljazaris. They're being watched. They live on
What happened?
Do you know these guys?
Do you know these guys? Oh, they're the Aljazairi. They're being watched. They live off of Anvil Road. Oh, that's interesting. What are you doing watching Mustafa? You know what? I'll tell you something that's really interesting. You know this is not a department issued surveillance because you have an officer notify another officer that doesn't know who Mustafa is. He's like, no, he just sounds like he's just an asshole. Oh, these are the Aljazaris. They're being watched. They live off of Anvil Road. This officer is involved in the 2018 lawsuit, Officer Taylor. And he's going around coaching his buddy officer because he's upset that he is being sued. How dare Mustafa sue us? We have to put him back into his place. There's a lot of details that are going to keep coming out of this case. And it doesn't look good for the police department. I mean, the longer this takes, look, we're patient. You know, I'll tell you one thing. Being originally from Iraq, we naturally are patient people. Mustafa's patient. We are fucking patient. And I promise you, by the time I'm done with this, those police officers that are involved, they will be going to jail. Mustafa's coming home. And I'll promise you, Prosecutor Sarah Sami, Prosecutor Stephanie Buck, you fucked with the wrong Iraqis. We're patient. Mustafa's patient. And I promise you, Prosecutor Sarah Sami, Prosecutor Stephanie Buck, you're going to be held accountable by law. Now, I've been talking for almost over 2 hours. I'm going to leave the conversation for you guys. I want to thank Zulak for being here. I want to thank Gary for being here. Casey, I want to thank everybody for being here. We're going to leave. I think we're going to end the podcast in the next 10, 15 minutes, and we'll leave this portion for questions. Becky, thank you for being here. Zulak, I've never talked to you before. I'm glad that you're here, and I've been reading all your questions, and they're beautiful questions. And it really gives this whole case a different. I mean, it's worth looking into.
I'll start with the first question. You know, y'all been going on for this for 3 years there or more, and I've been in this the whole time with you, brother. How much longer do you think we're going to have to wait before this guy comes home?
You know, I'll tell you, I have no idea, but we are patient people. We're patient, and the longer this takes, it's not looking good for the police department. More details are coming out every day. By the way, I've got beautiful conversations. I've got documents that has to be released. I've got certain things that has to be released, and I'll tell you one thing: the police department is not going to be happy.
And another thing, have you, as the DOJ or anybody, reached out to you all?
Oh, there's different entities that we're dealing with behind closed doors, and we're working on it. There are things that are being investigated. This case is moving forward. It's going through the court system, and there is individuals that are investigating what's going on here. So we're working on it.
Right. I mean, with them crushing the car before the case is even over is just absurd. That right there should be enough for him to come on up out of there right now, even a long time ago.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is that a motion to dismiss just based on the fact that you crushed and staged the car? Absolutely. I mean, when you find out when you ask the question, why is this case sealed? Well, it's sealed because, one, they crushed and staged the car. I mean, that's one of them. I mean, look at everything they've done. I mean, we would not have found out that the vehicle is crushed and staged if the file wasn't leaked.
You can't go to no news, Darla. Fake news. It's fake news. News will not touch on none of this. I mean, you can't go. Where are you going to go? You got private, journalists going around is better news than CBS, CNN, Fox, any of them. You got journalists going around and exposing law enforcement every day.
I reached out. Gary, I reached out to Darla. Thank you for being here. I don't know if I'm following you. Let me see if I can follow you back. Let's see. All right, there we go. I just followed you back. I reached out to Julie Carey because Julie Carey essentially is the one that reported on this case. And all over the news, she reported and she told the community what the police department essentially said. Well, in light of the file that's being leaked, we find out that the police department falsified the whole entire case. Now, I reached out to Julie Carey and I asked her, I said, Julie, you reported that the prosecutor got a lip reader. Now, you said on the news that the prosecutor has a lip reader, and the lip reader says that Dorothy wanted to get out of the vehicle. Dorothy said, I want to get out of the vehicle. Dorothy said, supposedly, according to the lip reader that the prosecutor had at the time, that Dorothy said, Mustafa, why are you fucking with me? And then Dorothy, according to the lip reader, said, Empress is in the vehicle. Empress is her 5-year-old baby. Now, hold on. 2 years. The prosecutor has a lip reader. Well, a couple of days ago, we had court. We did a huge podcast where we went on a podcast, and Mustafa had court, and we released information that the judge kicked off the lip reader. Now, Julie Carey came out to the community and told this community that the prosecutor has a lip reader. Now, wouldn't you think the news, Julie Carey with NBC4, is going to come out and update the community that this lip reader, one, he lied about what he said, because in court, they brought in this lip reader, and his expertise is not even in lip reading. Wait a minute. 2 years, you brought in an individual. You've been telling us that Dorothy said such and such and such. At the time, if you remember, the dash camera was sealed. And the only dash camera that you're seeing is the 4 seconds on NBC4, the chopped up version of the dash camera. They edited the part where Mustafa and Dorothy are sharing a hemp cigarette. They've edited that portion out. And they would fast forward, rewind. They edited that dash camera on NBC4, and essentially no one had access to the full dash camera. So when the dash camera wasn't released, they were comfortable bringing in this lip reader, because essentially, who's going to verify that this lip reader is not lying about what's going on in the vehicle? Now that the dash camera got released, all of a sudden that lip reader can no longer lie. He was brought in, cross-examined, and one, his background is not even in lip reading. Two, Judge Carol Weimer says, he told that to the prosecutor, you can't bring in a lip reader. By law, is not allowed. I can't sit here and make law for you. So wait a minute. Where is Julie Carey from updating the community that the lip reader was kicked off the case? And you want to tell me that the news, NBC4, is not in the back pocket of the police department? That's the biggest sign that the news is in the back pocket of the police department. Wait a minute. Why is Julie Carey not updating this community about the file being leaked? I mean, you've got all these police body cam that show the police lied, and Julie Carey is nowhere to be found. She's essentially like an ostrich sticking her head in the sand with her ass sticking outward. I mean, can you trust Julie Carey? Absolutely not. I mean, her credibility is shot if she's not updating on the most basic thing that's coming out of this case. And essentially, I mean, why is Julie Carey so terrified? Obviously, she's terrified because if she comes out, she can't lie about this case anymore. So, I'll tell you, are they terrified? Absolutely. And the longer this takes, the more people are going to be watching the body cams, the more people are going to watch what's coming out of this case, and the more details there are, and it's not looking good for the police department. I'll tell you that.
What's going on, brother?
Zulak, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. About yourself?
Doing all right. Doing okay. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I try actually. I saw you guys online, wanted to join in, but one of the questions I have is, so did they actually crush the car at the scene, or did they actually take it to one of those junkyard crushers and do it there?
So they took it back to the police department. So we have pictures of the vehicle. Let me show you actually have the pictures. Let's see if I can pull up the...
Your mind's about to be blown. So
they crushed it in the police department. This is the vehicle. Let me see if I can pull that up. So this is the vehicle at the scene after the accident. Okay. This is the vehicle at the scene. This is the vehicle inside the police department. If you notice, the roof is intact. I mean, on day one, they told us this is a head-on collision. Clearly, it's not a head-on collision. Okay. This is the vehicle at the police department. You see the roof is intact. Okay. Now, how did the vehicle go from this to that? This is the fire department. They're chopping up at the vehicle. And their excuse is that they needed access to the ACM. Now, the ACM is right here. I mean, I'm a mechanic.
It took like 5 minutes to get that ACM out as well, didn't it, Amar?
Absolutely. Me and my brother, I'm a mechanic. My brother's a mechanic. Muhammad is a mechanic. We went out to the junkyard, and it took us 5 minutes. There's 4 bolts underneath the shifter. Actually, let me just redraw this. So it'll be accurate. Right there is the shifter. That's the shifter. You pop that out. It's a plastic piece. And right there's 4 bolts. You unbolt and you take the ACM. Okay, so clearly we have access to the ACM. Why did you have to crush the vehicle? I mean, their excuse is that they wanted the ACM. You're going to have the fire department crush the vehicle and chop up the roof? I mean...
So the question that I would honestly have, and that I'm just kind of curious about it, is usually like every department's involvement, like EMS, fire department, they have certain procedures, right?
Yes.
Like obviously the bodies have been taken out, the patient has been taken out. Now you got the vehicle there, just trying to get apart. I'm surprised there wasn't someone from the fire department that was overlooking that project and kind of saying, hey, this is out of our scope and we cannot do this, because in order for you to reach, I'm pretty sure it's not their first rodeo. Absolutely. And it's just one of those things like, was there anybody overlooking these firefighters and I just like, hey, let's go ahead and smash the whole car?
Absolutely. Investigator Davis, we have pictures, and Investigator Davis is the one that oversaw this whole operation. This whole entire thing. Now, by law, they're not allowed to have the fire department chop up at the vehicle, because the fire department doesn't have the equipment to cut at the vehicle without destroying it. The fire department, they have life-saving equipment like the jaw of life. So if you're going to cut, you're going to destroy the car. You have to preserve the vehicle. And if the police department is going to cut at the vehicle, you have to have a specific warrant, and it's signed by the judge, approved by the judge, where exactly you're going to cut to get to. I mean, you have to have a reason. In this case, they had the fire department. And their reason to chop up at the vehicle doesn't make sense. I mean, clearly. Yes, sir.
Mark, I address this comment. You got a freaking retard in here. He's saying show the side of the car. Well, that isn't the point. The point is they're saying it's a head-on accident.
Well, let's show idiot. Exactly. Let's show the side of the car.
He's an idiot, dude.
No. Let's show the side of the vehicle. Okay. Let's show the side of the vehicle. So here. So this is the vehicle. So at the scene, this is investigator Chad Mason. And
why would they even say it's a head-on accident if it was hitting the side? It don't make no sense. So what is your point with wanting to see the passenger side, you freaking retard?
No. Okay, let's see. Let's look at the side of the vehicle, because the side of the vehicle actually gives us more insight. I mean, Investigator Davis is telling us here that they couldn't get to the ACM. That's why they chopped up the vehicle, right? All right. So let's go to the scene and show the officer accessing the vehicle. Let's see. There is a specific body cam that gives you insight into the police department lying about chopping up the vehicle.
I swear I could just wish I could reach through this phone and smack some people sometimes.
All right. So this is the body cam where Investigator Chad Mason is at the vehicle. All right. And let's see if there's access to the ACM. Let's see.
So that's how you saw everything.
Hold on a second, buddy. He's getting to it. Hold the fuck up, you little sissy.
There we go. There we go.
More fucking films.
All right. So the ACM, this is the other side of the vehicle. Does the police department have access to the ACM? This is the ACM right here. This is the other side. That's the shifter. You pop that up, and right there, there's a couple of bolts, 4 bolts, and you can get the ACM. So the question here is, why did the police department crush the vehicle, completely remove the roof, crush the vehicle to... I mean, are we both looking at the same thing? This is the other side of the vehicle. Do they have access to the ACM? Absolutely. So why'd you chop up the vehicle and turned it from, remember that 3 minutes and 11 seconds? So let's go back to the vehicle. How did the vehicle, let's take the body cam. All right, so how did the vehicle end up? How did the vehicle end up to where now it's this? I mean, it went from this. It went where the roof is intact. Here's the roof. That's the roof. That's the frame. Why is the frame being bent here? Why is the front of the vehicle chopped up? Why is the roof removed?
Are you seeing this, no name? Huh? Are you seeing this, stupid? You idiot? You fuckface? I wish I could reach through his phone and smack the shit out of you.
Now,
honestly, buddy, I wouldn't curse because they can block the line.
Yeah, Gary. No, I mean, I'll tell you. I just, I don't want to yell at anybody. I don't want to curse. It's not necessary, Gary. You know what I mean? I know you're frustrated. And
yeah, I'm sorry, Amar.
No, you're good. You're good. Trust me. Like you're good. But I'll tell you. I just don't want anybody yell at anybody. There's no point. You know what I mean? I mean, the information is all right there. And the question is, the prosecutor is accusing Mustafa that he crashed the vehicle on purpose. Now, two people. Mustafa lost his family in a vehicle accident. Mustafa lost 2 people in this vehicle accident. Now, you, the prosecutor, is telling us that Mustafa crashed the vehicle on purpose. Your job is to preserve the vehicle. Why do we have investigators crush and stage the vehicle? They crushed the car. They crushed the evidence in this car. Now, wait a minute. You get in a car accident, and the prosecutor and the police department is accusing you of crashing. Don't you have a right, a constitutional right, to hire an independent expert to inspect the vehicle? Why did they crush the fucking car? I mean, we're all looking at the same thing here. They crushed the car for a reason. Let me ask you a better question. Why is the prosecutor blocking the inspection, the vehicle inspection? I mean, there's a judge order to have an independent expert to inspect the car. I mean, you're going to tell me, Amar, what's your evidence that the prosecutor and the police department is blocking the inspection? Because if you're telling me that a situation where the prosecutor and the police officer is blocking they have something to hide. Wouldn't you agree, Zulak? Would you not agree that if you're blocking the inspection, you have something to hide?
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, a couple other things that kind of came to my mind is that we discussed, the fire chief and, everything else. I would maybe also look into when the fire department's called in for such action, because I'm pretty sure the police have local mechanic and they have local experts that can extract it. I don't see a reason why they would call the fire department. And even if the fire department cut the top off and they bend the frame, more than likely, have they tried putting in one of those recycling compressor machines to kind of try compressing the car and hide something on top of that?
Well, exactly. Let's see what Investigator Davis is telling us why he crushed the car. Let's hear directly from him, and let's see if that makes any kind of sense. I mean, he's talking about getting the jaw of life, bending the frame, cutting the. That's not the procedure that normally a police department follow. I mean, and it makes it suspicious that the police department did that directly after Mustafa in the hospital tells investigator Chad Mason, I don't know what happened. There was something wrong with my car. I mean, listen to what Mustafa is saying in the hospital. When Mustafa is asked about the accident, Mustafa says, let's watch. Let's hear directly from Mustafa.
All right, how about this? Who's with you in the car? Do you remember?
You're going to go immediately crush the car right after it? That doesn't make any sense. Let's see.
I would also maybe FOIA request any investigations where that investigator was involved in similar accidents and see how he handled those situations. And exactly. That way, if he claims that it's actual procedure, then you guys can kind of say, hey, on this one here, you did completely opposite. And
absolutely. And that's exactly, see, what you just said is really interesting, because in court, the prosecutor referenced another case that the same investigator is on, the same prosecutor is on. So what we did, we went and pulled that case. And we're going to do a whole entire podcast on what they did in the other case, what procedure they followed in the other case, and what are they neglecting to follow in this case. Same police officer, same investigator, same prosecutor. Why is it that they're following different procedures? I want to pull up the body cam where Mustafa's in the hospital, and he tells investigator Chad Mason when he's asked about what happened.
You remember if you took we're trying to.
There we go. This is it. So in the hospital, Mustafa is telling investigator Chad Mason multiple times, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I'm at. Where's my family? So Mustafa keeps repeating. And clearly, you can tell that he's in a concussion. The on-site, the off-duty paramedic that took Mustafa out of the vehicle tells you that Mustafa thinks he's in 2022, that Obama is the president. So Mustafa is clearly dealing with a concussion. And the paramedic injected Mustafa with 50 mcg of fentanyl. Now I'm going to fast forward to the moment that the investigator is asking Mustafa, what happened? Let's hear from Mustafa what Mustafa says.
We're kind of confused how the crash. So we're kind of confused how the crash happened, because according to witnesses, you were going straight and all of a sudden you just made like a hard left turn. You took from another car.
I don't know what happened exactly.
Okay.
My car was
was really messed up at the shop. But
How long ago was that?
they just got my tie rods installed.
Okay. When was that?
Just not too long ago. I just got the car from a transmission shop because the transmission was out. And then they replaced my tie rods and what else did they replace?
Okay.
Upper, lower. I mean, no, it was like other stuff in the components of the car.
How long ago did you get it back? Like a week ago, a month ago?
I just got it back. Let's see. I'm trying to think what it's like. It's not a week ago.
Like a couple days?
No. I've had it parked for like a month at a time. Like I wouldn't drive it much unless I'm going to the store and coming back, like up the street and coming back.
Okay.
But I don't know what happened.
Okay, so you're talking to Mustafa in the hospital. Okay, Mustafa's dealing with a concussion. Mustafa's dealing with paramedic injecting with 50 mcg of F. But he's telling you at one point that I don't know what happened. There was something wrong with my car. Now, wouldn't you think as a police department that you're going to preserve this vehicle? No, instead, you immediately go and crush the fucking car. What the fuck are we talking about? I mean, Mustafa has a constitutional right to defend himself, to investigate, to hire an independent expert to look into this vehicle. I mean, the computer inside the vehicle show what? It shows that Mustafa's foot is on the brake. The police mechanic inspected Mustafa's car and they found brake failure. Now, your job as the police department is to preserve the vehicle. You go and crush it and the vehicle ends up in this condition. It goes from that. It goes from this. It goes from this. I mean, what did you do to Mustafa's car?
When does he go to trial?
Mustafa's supposed to. How you doing, ma'am? Thank you for being here. Dara, Mustafa's supposed to be going to trial in March.
Inshallah, he wins.
I pray. I mean, this is the vehicle. I'll tell you, we want to go to trial. Mustafa wants to go to trial. And I mean, the vehicle went from this to that. I mean, how? How does that happen? How is Mustafa supposed to get a fair trial when you're destroying the evidence? When you, the police department, is destroying the evidence? I mean, what makes this really disturbing is on one body cam, the police department and the prosecutor is blocking the inspection. It's not supposed to work that way. I mean, Mustafa is the one that's supposed to be terrified. I mean,
yeah, he's not getting a fair trial, that's for sure.
Right. Hey, Darla, I don't know how long you've been following this this family here, but you said something in the comments about you bet it had something to do with him being Middle Eastern. No, it had nothing to do with it. It's because Mustafa had an incident with the law enforcement and he had sued them and won big time. He won big time. He got a big time settlement.
I'll tell you, Gary, it's a lot of factors. I mean, you're looking at the lawsuit. I mean, let's be honest. If this was John Smith, you think they'll be handling John Smith the same way they're handling Mustafa? Absolutely not. I mean, look at what's going on in this case. A white girl is dead. And her baby. I mean, Mustafa lived. You would think obviously there is a lot of racism in this whole entire case. Absolutely. A white girl and her baby is, Mustafa lived. They're not happy.
My brother is from Iraq.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's married to my sister. And yeah, when they got together, I was very hesitant because he's Middle Eastern, you know what I'm saying? But until I got to sit down, and I tell people, unless you sit down and break that bread with Middle Eastern people, don't judge them. Because they're the kindest people in the world. They give the shirt off your back. I deal with a lot of, I have a friend.
I mean, it's sad. What's going on here is
really sad. He was over in the war in Iraq.
Yes, ma'am.
He hates Middle Easterns. And I'm like, you know what? Then don't talk to me no more, because I have blood. My nephews are Middle Eastern. You know, their dad is Middle Eastern, and I love them with everything in me. I would die for my brother. You know, his mom, you know, she's like, why didn't you marry Ahmed? And I said, because he's married to my sister and she's a good wife. And then she wanted me to marry her son that's over in Iraq. And I said, La. She said, Lish. And I said, he's my brother.
Yes, ma'am.
You know? So, no, I will keep you guys in my prayers and wrap my arms around his mother, because, this is devastating even for her. You know, it's too much.
I mean, it's sad. What they're doing here is really sad. I mean, they're destroying this county. They're destroying this county. I'll tell you. I pedal back and I try to remind everybody that tunes in that these specific officer is not a reflection of every officer in this county. I mean, the majority of police serve this community, protect this community. They're here for this community. I mean, I'll tell you, there's a lot of officers that I interact with, and I'll tell you, they give me the push I need to keep going. And they tell you, they want to tell you that, hey, we're here for you. We're watching. We're not okay with these officers doing what they're doing.
Is he family to you?
I'm sorry?
Is Mustafa family to you?
He's my younger brother, yes, ma'am.
What's good, bro?
Good.
I just followed you,
thank you for
Darla,
being
and I
here.
followed Sulak as well. I just wanted you to know, and welcome for, I guess this is your first night being here, right, Darla?
Yes, it is. But I've been watching a ton of videos. When I seen he was on live, I'm like, I'm going to hop into it.
Darla, thank you for being here.
There's a lot of haters coming in these comments trying to push people away, but I've been here from the beginning. And there's as well as a few others that's in here. The family deserves justice, girl.
Oh, I know. I sent your live to a friend of mine. She's it's called Steph's Case Files.
Yes,
she's on every platform. She gets cases reopened that's been closed, corrupt police.
Hey, bro, you forgot to mention the fact that the cop is Somalian, bro, and there's been a lot of scams going on regarding that.
You know, I'll tell you, these officers are going to jail. What they're doing, they're terrified. They're terrified because this conversation, this conversation is no longer my word against the police department. No, the file is leaked. There are body cams and there are documents that when we're talking about these details, Darla, I'll tell you, when you reach out to your friend that handles these cases, the conversation shifted since day one. I mean, day one, they control the narrative by sealing off the case. I mean, can you imagine if I come on this platform and I'm essentially telling you, my brother would never do this. I love my brother. He's a good guy. I mean, what evidence do I have that my brother is a good guy, that he didn't crash the vehicle on purpose? Today is a different kind of conversation because I have the police body cams. I have the file that's sealed by the county that show these officers, yes, they falsified this case. That I'll tell you, when you reach out to your friend, yes, ma'am, your friend actually that has a platform can actually go through this material and can tell you, am I bullshitting you here? Or do I have the file that the police actually falsified this case? That you have someone in solitary confinement that lost his family in a vehicle accident.
Yeah.
I mean, that's terrifying, though.
I send her the link to this right now.
Yes, ma'am.
And I will send her a message and tell her to go and look at all your videos.
Yes, ma'am.
And she's been on News Nation. She's been on Court TV. She's covering a murder case where that's in Michigan, that a birth mother, and her husband killed the birth mother's daughter and cut the baby out. And that trial is supposed to start in March, supposedly. We'll see. But we've been on that one since day one. The police there in Michigan wouldn't go out and look for the body. And so we had people boots on the ground And they said, when you find a body, that's when you call us. Well, that's what happened. They found the body and called them.
What state is this out of?
Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Oh, wow.
Cadillac, Michigan. And it's big, and there's a lot of true crime creators that are on TikTok that are involved in that. And I'm gonna get this one here out there too.
Darla, I'll tell you, I'll give you a heads up. There's money that's being pumped into this case. When you're talking about police officer that's been police officer for over 20 years, and now you're talking about a file that's leaked, that's essentially supposed to be sealed to protect these officers, but now it's leaked. I mean, I have a body cam where the officer that crushed Mustafa's vehicle is talking to the officer that said on the scene, he's been briefed about Mustafa, and he's talking about Mustafa's lawsuit. Mustafa had a $500,000 lawsuit against the police. These two officers are talking about pumping money into the Mustafa Aljazairi case. What are we talking about here? I mean, you have lawyers that are being threatened off the Mustafa case. I mean, I don't know if you saw the video where one of Mustafa's attorney is talking about the police. She's terrified that the police is going to unalive her. She withdrew from Mustafa's case because she's been threatened off the case. I mean, this conversation is unbelievable. I mean, I'll tell you, but when I show you a body cam that two officers are talking about pumping money.
They even said to him in the hospital, and that nurse lied to him also.
That nurse had an obligation to protect her patient, knowing that they injected him with 50 mcg of F, knowing that he's dealing with a concussion. All that could have waited.
That's right.
But instead,
he should be sued too.
Man, they're performing for the body cam. Those officers have a narrative, and what they wanted to I mean, you see them muting and unmuting their body cam. Why do you think they're doing that? By the way, it's illegal. It's illegal to mute. It's illegal for a police officer to mute, but they're muting because they want to control the narrative for the prosecutor. Because these body cams, they want to play them for the prosecutor. They want to play them for the jury. That, hey, this is Mustafa. Mustafa did not care when we told him that your family has passed. I mean, you're toying with Mustafa. You know that he's in a concussion. You know that you've injected him with 50 mcg of F. And then when he actually does react and he's crying for his family, what do? You seal that body cam. They hid that body cam. I mean, if it wasn't for the leak, I'll tell you, the only thing that we could have went off of is Chad Mason's police report. And what did Chad Mason's police report say in the hospital? Mustafa did not care when we told him that your family has passed. I mean, you're talking about a police officer that's been there for over 20 years is telling you that Mustafa didn't care. I mean, essentially, he's painting a picture. I mean, in trial, that body
at about 7 o'clock. At about 7 o'clock.
There's a narrative there's a narrative that they were building, and that the narrative they wanted that for Mustafa. The narrative is that Mustafa doesn't care, that this is a monster, he did this on purpose and didn't care. And the evidence that they had a narrative is that when Mustafa was crying for his family, when he was told, they hid that body cam and falsified the report. Chad Mason's report said Mustafa did not care. I mean, if it wasn't for this body cam, all we could have went off of is a police officer that's working for the police department for 20 years that says Mustafa didn't care. I mean, how is that going to look in court in front of the jury?
I hope that his lawyer will show all these body cams and stuff in trial.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I'll tell you, there's a lot of things that we're working on behind the scenes. I mean, you've got a case where lawyers are talking about being threatened off the case. But I'll tell you one thing: the longer this takes, the worse it is for the police department. Yeah, it's not easy on Mustafa. It's not easy on the family. But we're patient people, you know. And I'll tell you, this case is, you know, you're going to reach out to your friend. And I'll tell you, the same individual that's doing this in this case is going to reach out to you and your friend and is going to threaten you off of talking about this case. I mean, when you talk about police officers that are talking about pumping money into this case, I mean, let's listen to. I really want you to listen to this body cam, where officers are talking about pumping money into Mustafa's case. I mean, money out of their pocket.
Did you do anything inappropriate to it? So again, nothing froze. Steering wheel is moving. What? I'm going to figure out that brake issue, and then then I'll be done. Hey, Rob, remind me to tell you I had an idea about this case that I thought we should imply. Imply, is that the word? Employ. It would take spending money, though. Take what? Spending money.
Bustos, Farah, thank you for being here. I mean, you're talking about a police officer. I mean, who is this police officer? This is the same police officer that crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle. This is the same officer that reaches out to 16-year-old Kylie and is trying to identify Dorsey's cell phone on day one. What is being kept out of this case? Dorsey's cell phone. I mean, he's talking about, I have an idea. Remind me about an idea that I want to employ into this case, but is going to require spending money. What are we talking about here? I mean, that's terrifying. I'm going to be really honest with you. That is terrifying. Disturbing.
How old is Mustafa?
34.
God, he's still a baby. That's a shame.
I mean, I feel bad for Mustafa, what Mustafa's going through. I feel bad for this family. I feel bad for this community that an officer that's using a badge and a uniform that think he can get away. I mean, if you can do that to Mustafa, I mean, you can do that to anybody.
Yeah.
That's the,
and it's a shame. There's a lot of crooked cops that are prejudiced in every city. You know,
there's bad apples everywhere.
Yeah, and it's sad.
And you know, I'll tell you, as a community, our job is to not say every officer is responsible for what this officer is doing. Absolutely not. I mean, the majority of police protect this county, protect this community. They're from this community. But there's bad apples, and our job is to speak up. Talk about what they're, hold these officers accountable by law so they can't do it again. They can't do it to someone else.
Yep. There's bad police, bad judges that allow this stuff
absolutely
to continue. And their feet need to be held to the fire.
Absolutely.
Because this is not fair to people that he would not try to kill anybody in his car.
I mean, this is a car accident. I mean, the computer inside the vehicle showed that his foot is on the brake the whole entire time. This is, let's see if I can pull up the computer inside the vehicle. Let's see.
Darla, this family has been out in front of the jail for like a year. They went through being trespassed from the jail. They camped every night, protesting out there in front of the jail for a year. This family's been through a lot, girl.
Okay, so this is the ACM, the computer inside the vehicle.
Right.
Brake
is on
the brake
Yep.
the whole entire time. Now, the accelerator, the gas pedal, he's not hitting the gas.
Right.
Okay. And this is the data inside the vehicle. You're telling me that the prosecutor is saying what exactly? That he crashed the vehicle on purpose. Then why is he hitting the brake? I mean, You're telling me that he crashed the vehicle. Why is he not hitting the gas? You're telling me that you're gonna crash I'm gonna hit the gas. Okay. I'm definitely not gonna have my foot on the brake. I mean,
yeah, and then look at the speed thingy over there.
The speed limit is 55. It went from 55 all the way down to 37.
Exactly.
Now, why did the vehicle not stop? The police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle and they found what exactly? Oh, that's right. They found brake failure. The vehicle would not stop.
Yeah. And you can hear that in the camera.
I mean, for over 3 years, you've been telling us that there's an argument inside the vehicle. That's what they've been telling. That's the narrative, that Mustafa is arguing with his girlfriend. Why is it that when I open the dash camera that's sealed by the county, I find that Mustafa and Dorothy are sharing a cigarette?
Right.
I mean, I'm supposed to see on this dash camera that there is a heated argument inside the vehicle, but instead, this is what I see. Let's see if I can pull up the dash camera. There we go. I mean, this is moments before the vehicle accident. You fast forward. Okay. You fast forward. I mean, and when you zoom in, the way Dorothy feels Mustafa's fingers, I mean, where is the argument?
That's not hate.
That's
like, I love you.
I mean, the foundation of this whole entire... I mean, why is NBC4 chopping that up? I mean, NBC4 released an edited version of the dash camera. What does that even mean? NBC4 released 4 seconds from Mustafa's dash camera. Literally, if you look at NBC4 and rewind it, literally 20 seconds, you're going to see that they're sharing a cigarette. Why would NBC4? I mean, is that not a lawsuit? Is that not... I mean, regardless of how you feel, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, whether you hate Trump, you love Trump, NBC, is it ABC that got sued for editing the January 6th speech?
Probably.
It was ABC. And what they've done, ABC did the same thing that NBC4 did. I mean, you're telling NBC4 went out to the community and released that Mustafa is arguing with his girlfriend. You're telling me that if I rewind this dash camera literally 20 seconds, I'm going to see them sharing a cigarette? That's not taking this dash camera out of context?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're taking the dash camera. That's a lawsuit. Julie Carey knows that. The police department knows that. But they were never betting on the fact that this dash camera is going to get released. By the way, this is a sealed dash camera. To this day, the prosecutor office and the police department never released this dash camera. The only thing that's been released is the 4 second that's edited on NBC4.
No, see, and that's wrong. That needs to be shown in court.
I mean,
put all that stuff on exterior hard drives and put it in different places in case they decide to raid your place and take your computer and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Back all that stuff up because you have stuff that they're going to be like human when they realize that you have what you have.
Cloud storage also.
Darla, this is the Zulek. This is the. I'm sorry to cut you off, brother. This is the toxicology report. I mean, we just watched Mustafa and Dorothy share a cigarette. This is a toxicology report. I mean, what are we looking at? What are they smoking inside the vehicle? I mean, the foundation of this whole entire case is the hemp cigarette. They're smoking a hemp cigarette. His girlfriend has cancer. His girlfriend has cancer, and she smokes hemp. I mean, how do we know that? You're asking me, how do you know that? We know that because the toxicology report show. This is. Let me see if I can zoom in. This is blood alcohol, non-detected. So no alcohol in his system. If you zoom in to THC is 0.0003. What are they smoking in the vehicle? They're smoking a hemp cigarette. Now, the foundation of this whole entire case, you're telling us that Mustafa crashed the vehicle on purpose. You're telling us that Mustafa is arguing with his girlfriend. We opened this dash camera. One, there is no argument inside the vehicle. Two, they're smoking a hemp cigarette, and the way she feels Mustafa's fingers.
Yep.
I mean, why is the prosecutor not taking Mustafa to court? The minute that you take Mustafa to court, Mustafa's coming home. This is a car accident. He did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. There is no argument inside the vehicle. And your officer built a whole entire case on they falsified the whole entire thing. I mean, everywhere you look in this case, they crushed and staged the vehicle. They cut the dash camera. I mean, when we look at the dash camera, Darla, I don't know if you looked at this dash camera. I don't know if you really looked at this dash camera. Why is this dash camera cut before impact? Where is the impact?
Right.
I mean, you find out that the officer in court is telling the judge that when I showed up, I took the dash camera back to my vehicle without a warrant. I downloaded the dash camera onto my computer. I sat on those files for 2 days. Wait a minute. The normal procedure is you're supposed to get a warrant. You're supposed to take this dash camera to digital forensic, and digital forensic is supposed to copy and mirror these files and upload them to the police department server, evidence.com. That didn't happen. Instead, you have Officer Chad Mason sit on those files for 2 days without a warrant. And then you find out that he's the one that uploaded this dash camera to the server. Wait a minute. The problem with this officer and what he did is he violated the chain of custody. Today you have a dash camera that has no audio and is cut before impact. And there are 17 frames missing from the camera facing inside the vehicle. Wait a minute. Can we say that this officer chopped up the camera and removed the audio? Absolutely. Specifically when digital forensic, when they finally got this dash camera, they say this dash camera does have audio. Where the hell is the audio? I mean, there is so much that's going on in this case. And they get you a lip reader. For 2 years, they've been telling us that we have a lip reader. Well, a couple of days ago, the lip reader got kicked off the case. Because one, he's not reliable. Because his background, apparently it turns out that it's not even lip reading. That's one. Two, the judge said by law, you can't have a lip reader in a case.
Right.
So, but I mean, think of the damage that's been done in this case. You have, every time you look up Mustafa's name, the first thing that comes up on NBC4, that the prosecutor has a lip reader. And the lip reader says, I want to get out of the vehicle. The lip reader says that Mustafa's girlfriend says, why are you fucking with me? 3, the lip reader is saying that Dorothy Fontaine is telling us that Empress is in the car, her 5-year-old baby. Wait a minute. At the time that they had the lip reader, the dash camera was sealed. Well, now it's leaked. They can no longer lie about this dash camera. If they're sharing a cigarette and the way she feels his finger moments before the vehicle accident, where is she saying all of that?
Right.
I mean, talk about controlling the narrative. I mean, they seal off the whole case and they bring you a bullshit expert that wants to. Well, the longer this goes on, and with the leak that already happened, you can't lie about this case. Yeah, maybe you can threaten this person, you can threaten that person. Darla, I promise you, they're gonna reach out to you and they're gonna tell you, they're gonna threaten you off the whatever.
Let them threaten me. I don't care.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. You can threaten 1, 2, 3, 20, but it's gonna get to a point that this community is gonna be watching the details. I mean, the nice thing about having a leak into this case is the body cams in the document is all there. You don't need me to tell you what is going on in the Mustafa Aljazairi case.
Right.
It's all over the internet. Look up NBC4 and tell me NBC4 that is not being used to lie about this case. I mean, that's a defamation lawsuit, but there's a time and place for everything.
That's right.
I wonder what the agenda is behind them pinning this on him. You know, I'll tell you, we're all going to find out together. We're all going to find out together. We're going to find out what's going on out of this case. And I'll tell you the details. I mean, this podcast today is interesting because I don't know, Darla, I don't know if you followed what's going on all over the news a couple of days ago. They're telling us that the FBI and the local police department have been investigating the hotel off of Dumfries. And it's a multi-year investigation. And apparently, from what we're finding out, is that Mustafa's girlfriend, I mean, the details show that the reason they're not putting her cell phone into this case is because Dorothy was part of whatever is going on in the hotel. And they refuse to put, I mean, this whole entire case, why is it not moving forward? It's not moving forward because Dorothy's cell phone has to be part of the case. And for 3 years, the one thing that they're blocking is the cell phone dump.
That's not right.
This is what's going on off of Dumfries. Let's see. Let's play it really quick. And I think this is a good way to wrap up this podcast. What do you think?
Yep.
We're learning about an FBI raid at a motel in Northern Virginia. Now, this was part of a sex trafficking and drug distribution investigation.
Sydney Persing has surveillance video of the operation. She's live tonight in Dumfries with what we know so far. Sydney.
Yeah, so there's a lot that we're still trying to learn tonight as investigators really are being quite tight-lipped as their investigation continues. But what we do know tonight from police is that they executed several search warrants here at this motel today and made arrests. And part of what they say is a multi-year-long investigation into not just sex trafficking, but as you said, drug distribution as well. Just before 6 a.m. and one by one, local and federal authorities pulled up to the Red Carpet Inn in Dumfries on Thursday. Quickly and with guns drawn, they made their way inside. The FBI and Prince William County Police say this was a coordinated operation, part of a multi-year investigation into sex trafficking and drug distribution at the motel on Dumfries Road. Authorities would not say who or how many people were arrested, but did say more details will come to light as the investigation continues.
We typically call this type of crime hidden in plain sight.
Derek Benner is the CEO of Our Rescue, a global nonprofit dedicated to combating sex trafficking. He previously worked at DHS and HSI.
But these investigations are complicated because these criminal organizations are moving in and out of.
You know, the one thing that we're asking for is, I mean, this video on our channel is going viral. Not another. This video is going viral. What are we asking in this video? Not another. We're asking for the cell phone dump to be part of Mustafa's case.
These officers flat out lied. Flat out.
And the moment you open up this hard drive, you can easily disqualify their affidavits. You can easily disqualify their warrants. You can disqualify this entire case. These officers...
I mean, when you find out that Dorothy Fontaine has been living in the hotel when Mustafa met her, and she's been taking pictures of vehicles coming in and out of the hotel, the question is, what is Dorothy doing in the hotel? I mean, is it possible that Dorothy Fontaine was working for the police as a confidential informant? I mean, you take a look at Dorothy. Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
I mean, the one thing that's off limit in the Mustafa Aljazairi case is Dorothy's cell phone dump. I mean, what are we going to find in this cell phone dump? You have, when you put Dorothy Fontaine under a microscope, you find out that she has 3 cell phones. I mean, I can barely afford 1 cell phone. But you have someone that's essentially, supposedly, when Mustafa met her, she was homeless, living in a hotel, in and out of the hotel, in her vehicle, in and out of her vehicle. I mean, essentially, Dorothy was homeless. She had a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14, in and out of the hotel. But she walked around with 3 cell phones? Who's paying for those cell phones?
Exactly.
Wait a minute. What are you doing taking pictures of vehicle tags out of, taking pictures of coming in and I mean, Darla, if I was telling you I'm living at a hotel and you find out that I'm taking pictures of you're going to say I'm working for the police.
Yep.
Well, what about if they were using those images to blackmail certain individuals?
Absolutely.
Government officials, you know, the strip club, they had their employees and then they just get the pictures of them going in a motel and then later on like, hey, you got to comply with us and do X, Y, and Z.
You know, I'll tell you something that's really interesting. The phone call of Investigator Davis, the individual that crushed Mustafa's vehicle, the same officer that said that we just watched has an idea to employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money. I can't wrap my head around, on day one, he calls the 16-year-old daughter, who now we're finding out that she works, her and her dad, works for the club owner, the strip club, well, all the drugs are coming from. All the prostitution happening in the hotel is coming from. Wait a minute. What is he looking for? He's looking for Dorothy's cell phone. He wants to identify Dorothy's cell phone. You want to tell me a police officer so concerned about Dorothy's cell phone, but it's been 3 years and they refuse to enter it into the case? And wait a minute. The way he talks to that 16-year-old is disturbing. I mean, and instead of me telling you about how he's talking, let's all listen to Investigator Davis talking to Kylie, who was 16 at the time. Let's listen to Investigator Davis and tell me that conversation is normal.
Okay.
If you go to YouTube, Not Another Boring Podcast, you're going to find a playlist. So if you go on Not Another Boring Podcast, I've released the body cam in Mustafa's file. The one that's sealed by the Commonwealth Attorney is on YouTube on, let's see, there's a playlist. Police body cam, Mustafa Aljazairi.
Okay.
You click on it. These body cams are numbered as exhibits. If you go to exhibit 47 and exhibit 48, so you scroll all the way down. Let's listen to Investigator Davis talk to Kylie. There we go. So here, you want to fast forward because he's got his body cam on mute. Fast forward all the way to, let's see.
Case of the pop socket.
2 minutes. Yeah. 2 minutes into it. Yeah, just about 2 minutes. You're gonna see him unmute his body cam.
It's 11, 12, or 13.
So she had a blue iPhone.
It was an 11, I think.
A blue iPhone 11 with a sparkly case and a pop socket.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right. If there was a hold on, Kyle. I'm gonna have to call you back. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
So here he gets interrupted with something on the road, and you hear him pick up that conversation on Exhibit 48. Now pay attention to the tone that Investigator Davis is using with Kylie. That's a very specific tone. And when you notice that he's talking to a minor.
Okay.
Since 2021, with more than 11,500 eviction cases filed in the last 2 years. Cable says Toledo brings a bigger city. Not at the level of some of these, especially the last 15 years.
Marriage. See him becoming a second, third, maybe he's like the 2.5 tight end.
Hello?
Hey, Kyle, it's Investigator Davis.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, somebody had to speed by me in a school zone.
Why does he sound like that? Why does he sound like that? Hey, Kylie, it's Investigator Davis. Why do you sound like that?
Right.
I mean, that's disturbing. When you find out that you're talking to a minor, a 16-year-old, that is disturbing. Either you're fucking that 16-year-old or you're her handler. Either you're her handler. There's something more going on in this case.
Yep.
Otherwise, why is your tone? Why are you using that tone with that 16-year-old? Now, wait a minute. What are you looking for? You're looking for Dorothy's cell phone. We know that Dorothy has 3 cell phones. A person that's supposed to be homeless is walking around with 3 cell phones. And now you have an officer that's making sure he wants to intercept that cell phone. If you're so concerned, Darla, if he's so concerned about that cell phone, wouldn't you think the first thing that happens in this case is that cell phone dump enters the case?
Where was the cell phone at? Usually after the accident, they collect all the evidence then and there and put in evidence back.
Exactly. Now, the normal procedure is the police department would do a cell phone dump on Mustafa's cell phone and a cell phone dump on his girlfriend's cell phones, 3 cell phones, is digital material. So what they have to do is upload it to the server, the police department server, evidence.com, because that's exculpatory evidence for the defense. Instead, what they've done here is they downloaded that material, the cell phone dump, into a hard drive. And it's a 1 terabyte of material. And every defense attorney that enters this case, they ship them that hard drive. Wait a minute. Why are you downloading on a hard drive? Why are you shipping it to the lawyer? And it's been 3 years. Every lawyer that entered the Mustafa Aljazairi case tell you that they've been threatened off the Mustafa Aljazairi case. At one point, one of the lawyers said that the Virginia State Police entered her office and took the cell phone dump. Wait a minute. What's on the cell phone dump that they're so terrified that they're protecting?
Right.
Can we say that Dorothy Fontaine, knowing that she's taking pictures in the hotel of every vehicle that comes in and exit, can we say that she is possibly a confidential informant for the police, that she's been communicating with police officers, and if that cell phone entered Mustafa's case is going to compromise the officers related to that investigation, is that gonna release material that's sensitive? I mean, yeah, we can say that. I mean, otherwise, why would you not put the cell phone dump, Dorothy's cell phone, in Mustafa's case? I mean, you're charging Mustafa. You're saying that, Mustafa, you have a problem with your girlfriend. You crashed a vehicle on purpose because you hate your girlfriend. You want to tell me the first thing that you're not going to look into is the text communication? Instead, you're going to avoid the text communication? I'm going to say there's something more to it. And there's something on Dorsey's cell phone that they're protecting.
Yep.
You know, I'll tell you, the longer this takes, the worse it is for the police department. I mean, Mustafa is patient. We're patient. And this community is patient. We all want to get to the bottom of what they're doing in the Mustafa Aljazairi case. You say that he's guilty. Let's take him to court. Let's litigate this in court. I mean, I'm sure the police department and the prosecutor is not happy about me reaching into their server and releasing sensitive material the way I'm doing it. I'm sure they're not happy. Okay? Let's take this to court. Let's litigate this in court, and let's get to the bottom of it. I mean, I've never seen a case where the guy that's in court, in jail, is telling you, can we inspect my vehicle? Wait a minute. I thought you said he crashed the vehicle on purpose. Why would he tell you, inspect my vehicle? And wait a minute. Why are you, the prosecutor, blocking the inspection? Wait a minute. Aren't you telling us that he crashed it on purpose? Wouldn't it be in your best interest to inspect the vehicle? Instead, on body cam, I don't know, Darla, I don't know if you saw the body cam. Zulak, I don't know if you saw the body cam. On body cam, they're telling the independent expert he has a judge order to inspect the vehicle, and they're telling him, you cannot touch the vehicle. You can't touch the other vehicle involved in this accident. What are you talking about? What do you have? What are you so terrified from that you don't want Mustafa's vehicle inspected? You don't want Mustafa's cell phone and his girlfriend's cell phone inspected. I mean, everywhere in this case, I mean, you talk about the dash camera, they cut and muted that dash camera. You want to talk about Mustafa's statement, they falsified it. You want to talk about the vehicle, they crushed it. I mean, Mustafa is the one that's supposed to be terrified that you're going to look at his evidence. But instead, Mustafa is the one that's telling you, look at my vehicle. Look at my dash camera. Look at myself. Look at my girlfriend's cell phone. I've got home videos. I've got a Google Nest video. I mean, Darla, you want to tell me for 3 years the prosecutor office is avoiding the Google Nest videos inside the house? What is going on in the Mustafa Aljazairi case?
Yeah.
It's sad. I'll tell you, it's absolutely sad. Not just for Mustafa, not just for his family. It's sad for this community that if you have a police department that can do that in this case, I mean, what are you doing in other cases that you feel comfortable doing that in the Mustafa Aljazairi? Oh, let's just go ahead and seal the case. Let's put a Julie Carey with NBC4 to spin off the narrative for us. And this community, let's just put them back to sleep. I mean, you're talking about a community that's not safe to live in. That's what you have. And that's what you're creating. Darla, I want to thank you for being here. Zulak.
Thank you for putting your brother's story out there.
Yes, ma'am. I look forward to talking to you again. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I look forward to talking to your friend, the one that has a platform. And thank you for being here.
Give your mom a hug for me. I'm keeping you guys all in my prayers.
Darla, God bless you, ma'am. Thank you for being here. Zulak, thank you for being here. I'm glad that I had an opportunity to talk to you. Thank you for watching what's coming out of this case, and keep us in your prayers. Darla, keep us in your prayers, ma'am. Julia, I haven't talked to you in a long time. I want to thank you for being here. Becky, Bustos, Missy, I don't know if Missy is here. I haven't talked to her in a long time. Casey, I love you, ma'am. And everybody that I forgot to mention, I want to thank everybody for being here. We talked about a lot on this podcast. This is a podcast that's going over 3 hours. We covered what's going on off of Dumfries with the FBI raiding the hotel off of Dumfries Road. We talked about how that raid is related to the Mustafa Aljazairi case, knowing what we know about Mustafa's girlfriend and how she lived in the hotel, how she was taking pictures of vehicles that enter and exit the hotel, how she walked around with 3 cell phones, how she did everything she wanted and the police would not touch her. I mean, drive around without a driver license and the police just looked the other way. Details show that Mustafa's girlfriend is a confidential informant for the police department. And the reason they're avoiding her cell phone dump is because she was a confidential informant. But I'll tell you one thing. Her cell phone is going to enter Mustafa's case. By law, this is exculpatory evidence. One of the things that's not letting Mustafa's case move forward is the cell phone dump. You can't move this case forward without entering the cell phone dump into this case. For 3 years, they're blocking Mustafa and his defense from going over what's on that cell phone. What's on Mustafa's cell phone, what's on his girlfriend's cell phone. Whether it's tied up to another case that Dorothy is a confident, that's beside the point. By law, Mustafa has a right to go through the cell phone data dump. And we're going to make that happen. Mustafa has a right, a constitutional right. This is exculpatory evidence that the prosecutor and the police department is blocking. They're blocking from entering into the Mustafa Aljazairi case. We're going to continue to monitor what's coming out of that case that's off of the hotel off of Dumfries Road. And we're going to continue to talk about what they're doing in the Mustafa Aljazairi case. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa, through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer, defense attorney Brad Haywood. You are under the microscope.
Thank you guys once again and wish you guys the best.
Habibi Zulak, Allah Salmak. God bless you. Thank you for being here.
Likewise.
على راسي حبيبي انت.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay. If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you, if any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay. If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay. If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the